Red Nation is loud and proud tonight for their Houston Rockets as they get to witness their first game of significance since 2019 in the NBA playoffs that year. The Golden State Warriors have won 15 consecutive games over the Rockets, the second longest winning streak for any NBA team against a single opponent, only trailing the New York Knicks 16 straight wins over the Detroit Pistons. The last time the Rockets beat the Warriors was February 20th, 2020, in the final year of the James Harden era. This is the third of 5 meetings between the two teams. The Warriors winning the first two for their 14th and 15th consecutive wins over Houston. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava, John Ott in just a moment. It is a wonderful night here in Houston, Texas. The last time these two rivals squared off, it was the Jonathan Kuminga show, where he had a career-high 33 points in a 99-93 victory on December 5th. In the first two games, the Warriors were without Steph Curry. And the first one was a big showdown as well, 127-121. The Warriors won in overtime, thanks to Buddy Hield and his 27 points off the bench, 6 of 10 from free. Kuminga adding 23 and 6 boards off the bench as well. Tari Eason had 27 off the bench with 9 boards, 4 steals, 3 blocks for the Rockets that game. In the second matchup, 5 players on the Rockets had double figures. None of them, however, had more than 16 points, with the highest scorer on the Rockets being Alperen Sengun. In that game, last year, the Indiana Pacers were the young upstart team making a run to the NBA Cup Final, where they would eventually lose to the Los Angeles Lakers. But that experience for the Pacers helped them reach the Eastern Conference Final. This year, the Rockets are hoping to beat that team that was last year's Pacers. Big difference being more of the defensive side and the offense being still there with 7 different double-digit scorers, including Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green. The other 5 being Fred VanVleet, Dillon Brooks, Evan Thompson, Jabari Smith Jr., and Tari Eason. 4 players were listed with injuries heading into this game, including Sengun. The other 3 being Cam Whitmore, Jayshawn Tate, and Steven Adams. They're all ready to go for tonight, as they got the all clear from head coach Ime Udoka in his second year with the Rockets. In his first year as an NBA head coach, he coached the Boston Celtics to the NBA Final. The team that he is facing was the very team that his guys would lose to. The Hawks winning 105-96 in the final 125 of that NBA Cup game. It is the quarterfinals at Madison Square Garden, but Trae Young does like to play against the Knicks. It's one of the teams that the Hawks have had the Knicks number at. So that is the margin in right now. As we look at these two teams, the Rockets are aware of what Fred VanVleet provides, particularly in his distribution about turning the ball over. When he is not on the court, it's a work in progress. But the Rockets got a big step forward without him, with a 117-106 road victory over the Los Angeles Clippers. He is coming back, which can be a momentum boost for them, especially since they raced a 31-point deficit in the first meeting. But Curry is playing tonight, and he's been at his best against Houston. He scored at least 20 in each of his last games against the Rockets, including 29 in 6 of his last 7. He had a game-high 30 points with 8 assists in the Warriors' 114-106 win over the Minnesota Timberwolves. So what we do know of these two, one reason is that the Warriors know how to slow down the Rockets and why they've had their number, including Sengun. In the last 10 meetings, Sengun has scored 20 points just once. This season, the Warriors are allowing the 4th fewest points per game to centers. Typically, Jabari Smith Jr. stepped up in such meetings. He is averaging 15.4 points in his last 9 games against the Warriors. But last Thursday, he scored just 5 on 2 of 8 from the field against Golden State. Smith is averaging 11.5 points and 7 boards per game this season. Curry's been his best against the Rockets, as mentioned earlier. The Warriors have matched Curry's minutes this season, just 30.5 per game. But he is coming off a 30-point game against the Timberwolves. When he gets going, typically, Draymond Green is a factor in setting him up. These two are part of the old guard at Dub Nation, having been part of 4 championship teams in a span of 8 years. Rockets fans know that all too well, as they have faced the Warriors twice in those championship runs. Both times in the Western Conference Final, losing in 5 games in 2015, 7 games in 2018. Infamously missing 27 straight three-pointers in Game 7 of the 2018 Western Conference Final. Draymond's averaging 6 assists per game this season and has had 6 assists or more in 9 of his last 10 games. But tonight he'll have to earn them. The Rockets are allowing the fewest assists per game. He has also been effective on the glass with 6 rebounds in 8 of his last 10 games. He is averaging 6.4 rebounds per game this season. And his starting spots fluctuated recently as the Warriors are trying to find more opportunities for Kuminga. But whether he is starting or coming off the bench tonight, he will likely play around 30 minutes and be on the floor in crunch time, especially given the chaotic nature of NBA Cup games. You know, it's basically like playoff games these matches are like, where it's a anyone can win scenario because these types of games have more significance, at least in the regular season. So as we look onto the starting 5s for both squads before we get going, well, in just a moment, we'll tip off. It's not until another few minutes, but we look at our projected starting 5s for the Warriors. Steph Curry at the 1, Buddy Hield at the 2, Andrew Wiggins at the 3, Draymond Green at the 4, Trace Jackson Davis at the 5 for what it seems to be. Off the bench, the Warriors can rely on Brandon Podziemski, Gary Payton II, Kyle Anderson, Jonathan Kuminga, and Kevon Looney. Plus a 6-piece off the bench in Lindy Waters III. For the Rockets, the projected starting 5 looks like this. Fred VanVleet at the 1, Jalen Green at the 2, Dylan Brooks at the 3, Jabari Smith Jr. at the 4, Alperen Sengun at the 5. Off the bench, these guys can be trusted to get a good bucket any time. Reed Sheppard, Amen Thompson, Cam Whitmore, Tari Eason, and Steven Adams. So time is winding down over at MSG for the Knicks to get an answer back, but more than likely, it is going to be the Hawks going to Las Vegas, and Trae Young does a little shoe tie. Well, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. The Atlanta Hawks are going to Vegas. They'll be facing the Milwaukee Bucks after downing the New York Knicks 108-100. Well, high fives and the embraces as the long season goes along for Knick faithful, but a shot at regular season bragging rights for ATL and their very own. And of course, with Trae Young, he loves these kinds of games. Going up against the Knicks, the Thunder are waiting for the winner of the Rockets and the Warriors, which should be going in just a moment. The tip-off will be soon enough. And another refresh on HBO Max, now known simply as Max. It is 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, which is the projected start time of what we are going to look at. So what we do know about Steve Kerr is that he does like to adjust his lineups to his opponents. That was the case against Minnesota. He was forced to concoct a fresh starting lineup covering multiple areas. One that has enough offensive juice and the right combination of personnel slowing down the Timberwolves' offensive attack centered around Anthony Edwards. As such, Kerr rolled out with the usual trio of Curry, Kuminga, and Draymond at the 1, 4, and 5. Even though Draymond is usually a 4, sometimes he is willing to start the 5, such as when the Warriors had the Hamptons 5 of Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, Kevin Durant, and Draymond himself. That was the Hamptons 5. Buddy Hield and Gary Payton II started at the 2 and 3, so it's a free guard starting lineup for Golden State. Hield went on rejuvenation against the Wolves. Kerr based this on the consultation with the Warriors' analytics department. The numbers have looked good with Curry, Hield, and Payton on the floor. The Curry and Hield duo, in particular, is working wonders offensively. On 371 possessions with the two, they have a 122.1 offensive rating and a 97.5 defensive rating. With Payton on the court, it has been just as elite, if not better. 120.6 offensive rating, which is just a slight downturn, but still remarkable. The defensive rating, even better, 92.3. Wow. In addition to personnel combinations playing a role as a result of being different, the Warriors made a point to switch strategies. And Hield's recent struggles are evident, with his one-shot shooting cooling off in the last few weeks, yet he remains confident in his abilities so that he can be one of their best guys on the court. Also, with Curry being the nightly target of defensive game plans that, for lack of a better professional standard, it could be called anyone but Steph in such a case, having Hield serving as a double purpose in the lineup. One, providing him with open looks, that being Hield himself, and two, relieving pressure being thrown towards Curry's way. As for the Rockets, from what we are looking at them, the last time the Rockets played a game of any consequence, September 12th, 2020. That was Game 5 of the Western Conference semifinals against the Los Angeles Lakers. A series in which Houston won the first game, but dropped 4 straight after winning Game 1. But this season for Houston has been one full of hope. His team has looked good at times, great at others. They have stumbled, but over 82 games, that's going to happen more than a handful of times. Even with those mishaps, there's no way to characterize this season as a resounding success for Red Nation. The West is packed, but nobody expected the Rockets to be at the top. Kind of like a Denver Nuggets surge to stardom. This is their biggest game of the season for the Rockets, as the Warriors are starting their way over and over again in the first half of this decade. Jalen Green, who has been a talisman for the Rockets, has played worse against the Warriors than any other team in the NBA by far. He is shooting 29.2% from the field against them and 18.8% from deep. Even with a 92.3% mark from the free throw line, he has a sub 40% true shooting percentage. A mark that is worse than the NBA's worst player at true shooting percentage, that being Scoot Henderson, who has a broken jumper. If you want to know what his true shooting percentage was last season, 48.9%. No other players had a true shooting percentage worse than 50%. What is Jalen Green's true shooting percentage against the Warriors? 39.9%. Yikes. But there are a lot of factors that go into one franchise owning another. Most of the Warriors' 15 straight wins over the Rockets came at a time when Houston was at the bottom of the barrel, also known as the Stephen Silas years. But not all of them. The Warriors assembled a juggernaut at the same time the Rockets did theirs. Golden State's was better. The rise of Steph Curry coincided with James Harden's. Curry received more attention than Harden all the time. But one day, one can say that the Warriors will slay the dragon. One day. The Rockets hope that day is today. And hopefully that would be the case. Of course, the rise, so it's been two superstars up against one another, but this version of the Rockets doesn't really have a true superstar. There is elite talent with Sengun, but there's one more step to take before he reaches true superstar status. So Jonathan Kuminga's averaged 28 points on 59% shooting in the two contests thus far between Golden State and Houston, with a career-high 33 points last week against H-Town on 13 of 22. In the two games since, he scored a total of 33 on 13 of 31 from the field. There may be the feeling that every Warrior was in a slump heading into that game, but they all found their mojo against Houston. But that may have been the case whenever these two teams played. So, but last time around, the Rockets stormed back with a win over a James Harden-less Los Angeles Clippers, behind 31 points from Green. He wasn't terribly efficient, going 9 of 20 from the field and 5 of 13 from deep, but the Rockets led early and were able to hold the lead despite Green's up and down shooting. They're also playing without Fred VanVleet, who was out of a knee contusion, but Amen Thompson filled in admirably. 22 points, 8 boards, 4 assists, a steal and a block in 39 minutes played, but also going 9 of 14 from the floor and 1 of 3 from deep, and also had a poster dunk against the Clippers. Dylan Brooks also came in correct. 19 points, 7 boards, 5 assists, a steal and 2 blocks. Also shooting 4 of 8 from beyond the arc. Jabari Smith Jr. contributed with 13 points, 12 boards. That was a double-double. Sengun was quiet by standards, but posted his routine double-double. 11 points, 10 boards, 6 dimes. And there was some legitimate Aaron Holiday court time, playing 19 minutes with 11 points and 3 assists on 3 of 6 shooting from deep. And with Reed Shepherd still struggling to get acclimated, there may be a few more minutes for Holiday going forward. The Kentucky product went 0-3 shooting with no points against the Clippers. Though the Clippers were playing without Harden, they were led by Bones Hyland off the bench, who went for 22 points. Also getting 21 and 12 boards from Ivica Zubac, who Sengun seemed to struggle with. And the Rockets had LA to 44% shooting and out-rebounded them 50-33, getting back to the formula of tight defense and solid team rebounding. And are 16-8 third place in the Western Conference, right behind the Memphis Grizzlies and Oklahoma City Thunder. Defensively, the Warriors and Rockets are not too far from one another. 105.4 defensive rating for Houston, 107.6 for Golden State. Offensive rating, pretty similar. And that's also with the points per game, 112.4 offensive rating. Net rating favors the Rockets, but you know how the Warriors are whenever they face the Rockets. A team that's got their number, but most of those wins, not all of them, have came in the Silas years. This winning streak up to 15. The Rockets looking to end that tonight. There's a lot to discuss around with the other headlines as we're still waiting from the TNT side and waiting for John Ott to arrive in here. But a lot of headlines, especially around Juan Soto, who is now a New York Met on the largest contract in MLB history. 15 years, $765 million worth of such. Gone through that. And now, from what it seems to be, Jimmy Butler may be a popular trade target in the NBA. The Heat are open to trading him, but it's not official that he has been made available to trade. The Phoenix Suns are among the teams that Butler's agent indicated in NBA circles. However, Butler's agent has since rebuked that. He has $49 million on his contract with the Heat for this season, $52 million player option for 2026, after the two sides could not get an extension last summer. He is 35, averaging 19 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 4.8 assists this season. One of the NBA's elite competitors and is a perennial postseason performer. His teams have made the playoffs in 12 of his first 13 seasons, including the 5 previous years in Miami, where he has led the Heat to 2 NBA Finals berths and 1 additional Eastern Conference Finals appearance. Bernie Lee expressed in league circles he was open to the Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets, and Golden State Warriors. So, but Butler's not worried amid trade speculation. There are tons of questions about his future with the Heat. Might get traded, might leave as a free agent next summer, might exercise a $52.4 million option to return to the Heat, or might get a new contract. He has led the team to a pair of NBA Finals trips since Miami tenure, said that he doesn't mind his name being in the rumor mill. They're listening to offers for him and making a deal if the proposal is right, as league sources told ESPN's Shams Charania earlier this week. Would it be surprising given the contract stats and the possibility that he might leave with the Heat getting nothing in return next summer? Could have offered an extension last summer and chose not to, presumably for a variety of reasons including his age, given that he's 35, and the fact that he has missed 26% of Miami's games over his first 5 seasons with the team. But he still clearly impacts winning. Miami's 8-2 this season when he scores at least 18 points. And the Heat aren't new to trade speculation. Tyler Hero's been the centerpiece of rumors in each of the past 3 summers. Butler said that money doesn't really matter to him at this point, adding he's not fixated on extensions or trades. He said, quote, "My kids matter. My happiness matters. My well-being matters and my family matters. Right now it's all about competing, staying healthy, playing some great basketball. I think I've done that so far. So see what we got." Stop short of saying that he wants to absolutely remain in Miami. It's been social media fodder for a few days, some even suggesting his hair dye in recent weeks, sometimes yellow, sometimes blue, sometimes red. Just match the teams of some of the trade speculation that links him to the likes of Golden State, Dallas, and Houston. But we'll have to wait and see if anything can happen. So, a retirement here in the NHL side. Congratulations to Kevin Shattenkirk on announcing his retirement from the National Hockey League after 14 seasons of playing. Having won a Stanley Cup with the Tampa Bay Lightning, having been members of several St. Louis Blues teams. That's where he started his career. Made the announcement in a statement issued by the NHLPA. The 35-year-old appeared in 952 career regular season games split between 7 teams with 91 playoff appearances. Shattenkirk went unsigned since scoring 6 goals and 18 assists in 61 games with the Boston Bruins last season in what was the Bruins' 100th season. 14th overall, he was selected in 2007 by the Colorado Avalanche and made his NHL debut with the Avs in 2011 before being traded to the St. Louis Blues that season. He then played 6+ seasons with the Blues, during which he was selected to represent the United States at the 2014 Sochi Olympics, earning his lone All-Star Game appearance in 2015. His most memorable goal? 6:34 into overtime to seal the Lightning's 5-4 win over the Dallas Stars in Game 4 of the 2020 Stanley Cup Final. The Bolts went on to win the series in 6 games, signed with the Lightning after having the final 2 years of his contract bought out by the New York Rangers the previous summer. He also played for the Washington Capitals, the New York Rangers, and Anaheim Ducks. His best statistical season, 2017. Finished with 56 points, including 13 goals, split between St. Louis and Washington. Overall, he has finished with 1 free goals and 381 assists for 484 points. He was also influential off the ice and being a member of the NHLPA Executive Board and NHL Player Inclusion Coalition. Ian, how are we doing here tonight?
We're doing good, Alec. I watched the Rangers and Sabres game. Was kind of hoping Buffalo would pull it out, but no such luck. But you know, it is what it is. Anyways, so the game again is the game underway?
Well, the game has not been underway right now, but we are waiting on the start of this game. They're showing the NBA 2K datacast first on the TNT side. But it's strange to me how the Rangers have been on a free fall, having lost 8 of their previous 10 before beating the Sabres tonight.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I mean, a lot of things I don't know how to explain. I just found out that the Blues on their West Canadian road trip went 3-1. Not quite sure how they did that, but they are, I gotta say, man, the Blues are frustrating in the fact that they don't know what they want to be. One game, they look absolutely abysmal. And then the next game, they're efficient and effective. I don't know what it's going to take for them to finally put all the pieces together.
Well, it has to be. So there's the belief that it's more than just a coaching change that needs for the culture shift.
I think they just need. I don't really know what they need because they have Jim Montgomery now, who is a massive upgrade from Drew Bannister, and as much, I really think what they're missing is that veteran piece. You have You have Jordan Kyrou. You have Robert Thomas. You have Dylan Holloway, Philip Broberg when he's out there. Really, the veteran and the captain, I think he's still the captain, is Braden Shen.
Yes, Braden Shen.
And Shen, look, respect to him as a player, but he is not what you'd call a superstar.
No, he's a middle six forward.
Yeah, but he is their, he's their leader in the most simple way I can put it.
Yep, given his Stanley Cup.
Yeah, and they don't have much cap space to work with because they signed all their young guys to deals, which is what you do. The thing is, they've still got Shen's contract to get through, and they just don't have enough. I don't know if they have enough assets to get that final piece.
Yeah, Shen's contract runs through 28.
Yeah, and he's not putting up the goals that he usually does.
Yeah, plus you have the new Buchnevich contract that kicks in next season.
I'm not worried about Buch too much. I think he'll be fine. Oh, we have Mr. Ott.
Yep. Gonna get him in here right now. This is the one that we are waiting for. Yeah, the Hawks, they beat the Knicks earlier tonight. John, how are we doing tonight? It's been a while.
Yes, it has. Thank you for having me, gentlemen. This is going to be a fun one in this NBA semifinal. It's been a while since we covered an NBA game together. I was surprised going into this. I'm sure you talked about it in your pregame. It was a little bit shorter probably because of the hockey game in the mix of it. But 15 straight times that the Houston Rockets have lost to the Warriors, I'm going to say it's going to end tonight.
Hey, I may have discussed this in the open beforehand, but soon enough, the Rockets may have to slay the Dragon. And I'm hoping that day is today.
I think so. I think we're going to have plenty to talk about as far as during some of the commercial breaks. I have a couple thoughts in my head about both of these teams, but I mean, honestly, I know Ian can say the same thing. This Golden State Warriors team obviously still led by Steph and Draymond, but this bench and some of the things that they're thinking about doing or not doing to try to extend for Steph Curry, I don't know. This is almost an unrecognizable rest of the team over the last 3 seasons to me.
I gotta be honest. I've been seeing this coming, where the Warriors, look, eventually it was going to end. I get it. Steph Curry is still Steph Curry. I still think Draymond Green's a punk. They say he's the attitude guy and all that, but I think he's a punk.
Draymond Green still is what he is, correct? He's the triple single extraordinaire.
I mean, he is the vocal leader of the Warriors as well. Though, even though you may hate facing him, let's not lie to ourselves. Other teams who have an opportunity to get someone like a Draymond type of player, such as when the Rockets immediately jumped onto the boat when they saw Dylan Brooks was available.
I don't disagree with you, Ian. I don't disagree with you, Alec, on that side either. It might just be one of those situations. I don't even know if I really believe this coming out of my mouth, that it just fits the culture and identity and part of it because you have somebody like Steph. That's really the only thing that I can think of.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that. The Warriors have always been the team that it's been annoying seeing them win because John, you're a Detroit Pistons. You're a Detroit guy, so you remember, and you and Alec probably remember the early 2000s better than me because I wasn't watching basketball.
That's when I watched it more, yes.
Yeah, but the game is completely different now, and when I say that, it just felt like in the 2000s, it was more team-based. I mean, that Detroit Pistons team had great players, but, and be honest with me, John, was there one guy on that team that was superstar? Not star, superstar.
Absolutely not. And in that era, it was first to 80.
And it feels like I'm seeing a similar type of vibe with this Rockets team where you don't see a true superstar player, but there's someone that's you have guys that are star players like Alperen Sengun, star player, but has to take that next step to superstardom. Jalen Green, he's another guy that's on the cusp of being a star player, but needs to take that next step. This season might be the one for Jalen Green to take that next step. All right, John, do you want to do the play-by-play first, or?
If you already feel like you're warmed up, Alec, you could take it away because you can give me a lesson here as far as the Houston Rockets, but I'm down with whatever.
All right, then. Guess I'll be the leadoff man. The leadoff batter. Well, ironic since I'm talking about baseball right now, given what just went down with Juan Soto, Max Fried, Willie Adames. MLB free agency is unreal, John.
Absolutely nuts, as you said. GDP of nations for Juan Soto. I thought that was a perfect line by you.
I mean, the Ohtani contract had more than the collective GDP of 9 countries in this world. $700 million. Juan Soto's now set for life, John, and then some.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that they repeated Bobby Bonilla over again. You never thought that was going to happen again. I saw Alperen Sengun was a game-time decision. He's going to be in the lineup today. I'm very excited to see what this young Houston Rockets team can do. They got so many multiple scorers over double digits. They love to run. They can shoot. They're athletic. This should be a good one.
7 guys scoring double figures for the Rockets. We're underway here from Toyota Center. Last game of the NBA Cup Quarterfinals. Winner faces the Oklahoma City Thunder at the Sin City. It is the former Raptor Fred VanVleet leading the way for Sengun. Sengun goes to the rack. Double pump. Gets stripped. Tries to get it back and does. Kicked out for Jalen. A free. In and out. And Sengun with a quick hustle for this rebound. Puts one up. Here's our first bucket. How about LP?
He is someone that you can't take your eyes off of. If you don't know who Alperen Sengun is yet, you're going to learn very quickly.
Basically a Nikola Jokic light, in a sense. Up front, the pass to Draymond. And this may have bounced off the knee of Draymond. Good defense by Freddie. So the Rockets back on the ball, looking to end a 15-game losing streak against them. That free rimmed out. Good hustle to the ball by DeMitton. The colloquial nickname of Gary Payton II, given that his father was the glove. Gary Payton. At the right wing side, searching is Draymond. Up front, the layup. Counted and one for Jonathan Kuminga.
That is something that I want to talk to you about, Alec, as we go forward. Maybe even toward the halftime. You think about Jonathan Kuminga and the Warriors, he's been in trade discussions and this and that. I don't understand why, to be honest with you.
You want him as a starter, especially since he provides a spark to the lineup. His free throw is too far, but the scoring production that he provides is why exactly the Warriors kept him. Move up front, and jumping for this is Dylan Brooks, the former Grizzly. Over to Sengun at the paint, kicked out for Smith, and now it's VanVleet. Fred VanVleet backed up by Hield. No screen from Sengun. VanVleet from mid-range. Knocked it down. Here come the Rockets.
Fred VanVleet's pretty comfortable scoring anywhere on the floor. That one from 15 feet.
Toronto knows what he provides, and so does Houston. Ball knocked out of bounds. Draymond played it erroneously. Rockets will get it.
Again, you're going to be a little bit ahead of me, I believe, on the TNT side, Fubo, whatever you're screening on. I'm going to follow across on the ESPN box, but you're right. That was a careless turnover.
Van Vliet inside to Sengun, has trouble with this. Kicks it out just before the 3-second warning. And Sengun does get an offensive 3 seconds. Warriors ball.
So a little bit of an auspicious start for both teams, but again, for me, Udoka's squad, they got no problem throwing this one inside to Alperen Sengun. I think that's kind of the straw that stirs the drink, Alec, even with all the talent across. They're going to try to get the ball inside, then move it out in the wings.
Oh my goodness, another turnover against Draymond Green as his pass was an errant one. That will get it back to the Rockets. Leading the way is Van Vliet. Fred Van Vliet. That was the third turnover for the Warriors in this game, and we're not even at the 3-minute mark. At the right hash, Green is pickpocketed. Curry gets it back the other way. Across to Buddy Hield, the former Sacramento King. He lays this one up. It's good. Tied at 4.
Man, oh man, some of these careless turnovers here that we've been talking about. Try to get this going in transition.
And in transition, it is Van Vliet at the Rockets logo. To the left for Sengun. Kicked out for Smith. Wafts a free. Liftoff. No pun intended to the namesake of Houston, but Jabari Smith Jr.
Another one of those scorers in double digits, can hit the three, is athletic as like crazy.
Right corner, it's Hield with the left hand. Oh, he airmailed this one well over the basket. Van Vliet nearly pickpocketed by Kuminga. Goes to the right hash, deep 2 on the way. Knocked off the rim, and grabbing it is GP2. Curry, he was the best player in the gold medal game in the Olympics gold medal match for USA against France. Curry going one-on-one. Shake and bake. Here's Draymond. Wide open free. In and out. Oh, and Golden State's going to keep it as Smith misplayed the rebound.
Well, it is very early, Alec, here in this first, and that's what we're seeing. Again, Draymond got a good look there. That's what you want to see more of that. But you're right. It bounced right off Jabari's hands, and it'll stay right where it is.
Here's Curry in tight coverage. Ties it. Doesn't matter how tight you guard him, he'll find a way. It is Van Vliet. Whistle blows. 8:13 left. Well, actually, it's not a whistle. I thought there was one, but Dylan Brooks finds Sengun. Fakes out Draymond. Lays it up. His kid's on fire. Oh, here's a fast break. GP2.
Gary Payton, a little bit undersized, as you mentioned, playing the small 4, but still got athleticism to get dunks.
And Ime Udoka not too pleased about giving up that quick fast break. He was all the way back, the low man back. Jabari gets the Rockets back on top on the mid-range.
It's a good start for Jabari Smith, minus that one turnover. Got an outside shot, mid-range shot, and showing all of his game.
Old school basketball, here we come with mid-range shots aplenty. Curry wants to find someone. Little overhead pass to the right side for Kuminga. Kuminga, he'll shoot it himself. Rim rocker out. Jalen Green on the other side, delivers it through the far side. Low sauce and cross. And Buddy Hield forced him to lose it. Warriors ball. But how many times have we seen Draymond deliver to Curry over and over again?
It's usually the way it's going to go, Alec, all the time. You're going to see Lindy Waters going to get set to check in for GP2.
43 in white. At the right corner, it is Kuminga. Drills it. That is amazing.
Yeah, Jonathan Kuminga, as you mentioned, Alec, can continue to show his complete game. He's going to be a piece of this team, whether or not Warriors want to extend here for Steph Curry for another title.
Possibly the 5th one. Ironically, all the titles coming in years in which Kendrick Lamar dropped albums. Jalen Green at the right hash. Another mid-range shot. That is too far. They save it. Here's Van Vliet. Not there. And his rebound tipped up. Draymond grabs it. Hield. Ballpark to the left side. Going one-on-one with Smith. Buddy Hield kicked it out for Draymond. Here's Draymond Green. Over to Hield, who moved it over to Kuminga. Kuminga from the paint. Well short. Rockets take it back with Sengun leading for Jalen Green. Double cutback as he moves all the way back to the logo. Green waits. Now moves right on Kuminga, who closes him off. Sengun 1-0 green. Alperen Sengun wants that one-on-one advantage. Does a little fadeaway shot and knocks it down.
And that was a good zone there just about 20 seconds ago from the Warriors. Try to be able to move the ball around. They couldn't get anything, but as you mentioned, no problem for Sengun working on Draymond Green. That was a tough fadeaway.
Oh, a hard foul. Steph Curry, a rare miss on a free, and then Kuminga gets fouled hard. .5:41 to go in the quarter. We have our first official timeout, as it's called by Ime Udoka.
Yes, we do, Alec. And in between Lundy Waters, as you mentioned, again, yeah, Jonathan Kuminga fall down in between the paint. We got a pretty decent start with this one as it's 13-12 Rockets. We go to the first break.
So as for Houston, as they're a young upstart team, we didn't expect them to break out this fast. But we had another young upstart team that got plenty of experience in last year's NBA Cup and using that experience to go all the way to the Eastern Conference Final, that team being the Indiana Pacers. The Rockets want to be that team that is the young upstart team that uses this experience to go on a deep run in this year's playoffs. Hopefully that comes to fruition.
I think that they can be, Alec. And again, I just want to say this. You can agree or disagree, or we can have a discussion about it. You could talk about OKC and Denver. I know Denver is not the highest seed right now, but those would be the two teams I probably still would put ahead of the Houston Rockets. And if you want to throw in the mix between Dallas and Memphis, I understand that, but I'm looking at it right now. And if we put this all the way to the end of the year, if the Houston Rockets continue to play the way that they can, I think they could be a top 4 seed in the West.
You know, that's what the thinking that I would go with, especially is my guys as well. Hopefully that we can make it back over to the top like in the James Harden era. The Mavericks will be tough competition, but it's an in-state rivalry, and I respect the Mavericks. But I really want to finish in a year where we finish ahead of Dallas, especially with them having a true superstar at the helm with Luka and Kyrie.
Yeah, and again, at that point, I think that's why home court advantage at the Toyota Center, as you mentioned, is very important. And that's why they went out and got somebody like Ime Udoka, because, I mean, you got that many guys under 23 in the mix with Jabari, Jalen Green, and Alperen Sengun, and they're doing this. Ime Udoka he's a great coach already. He's doing a great job.
That's why coaching matters. You get out and go for the league's best. And already Udoka's established himself among the league's best. Up there with if the likes of some of the elite tier coaches like Eric Spoelstra, Greg Popovich.
Yeah, I agree with you completely, because I'm looking in the mix. I'll be excited to see when we get on the bench side of it, because I know Oscar Thompson from the Pistons, but Alvin Thompson, a little more of a scorer there. Tari Eason as well, another big. I couldn't believe when I looked at the roster that Jeff Green is still playing for Oklahoma City Thunder man.
One of the two remaining former Seattle Supersonics alongside Kevin Durant. How they've gone this long is outstanding. I would love to see how KD holds up with Phoenix.
Yeah, that's interesting too right now, because they're kind of hanging around. You know, you got that big three in there. It's understandable, but is it going to work is the question. And as you mentioned, are the Houston Rockets the team, one of the up-and-coming teams that could maybe steal their spot in the foreseeable future? I agree with you in the beginning. It might not be this year, but after that, I really can see the Houston Rockets being able to keep that core together, keep that payroll intact, and continue to move on the right foot. This team should be dangerous for years to come.
Oh yeah, that's why you establish a foundation and a culture. And the Rockets have established exactly that. Now let's see if there are any other promising teams that establish a successful culture, like what the Thunder already did with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and head coach Mark Daigneault, who's already, as we mentioned, one of the league's best. He got himself a Coach of the Year award already.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder, if you think about it every single night, if the LA Clippers are regretting getting rid of Shai.
Oh, I will actually, at a commercial break, I would love to revisit how the Thunder got to this point, because when you think about it, it's actually insane.
It is.
What they did.
Wow. I mean, you get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, as we are tied here at 13 off this second free throw being good. He gets Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Danilo Gallinari, 5 first-round picks, and several pick swaps in the Paul George trade. Thunder are easy winners in this trade. No contest at all. Van Vliet, from the right wing side, he's going to look over the right corner and finding Amen Thompson in his first looks in this game. Kick back to Van Vliet with 2, with 1, puts it up. That was off. Rebounding tip, it will be grabbed by Waters. Lindy Waters the third, going back over at the key, at the right wing side, now moving back to Waters. Haled, over to Podziemski. Podziemski back to Hale, deep shot. That was off. And grabbing the rebound is Brooks. Van Vliet leads the other way. Far side, lob pass. That will be for Jabari Smith. And Smith spins and turns and puts one up through.
I love that athletic spin and finish there. That's good work.
Here's the guy that we're watching on the other side, Kuminga. He answers. So blow for blow between Kuminga and Smith. Kuminga will get an and-one opportunity.
Yes, he will. Good, strong moves there from 2 very young players with a lot of speed. That's what you want to see, Alec. I know we talked about that in the beginning and a little bit of the pregame. Don't have to settle for threes. Get to the rack, draw fouls. That's what I love to see.
He doesn't drill the and-one, but do remember he had a career-high 33 points against the Rockets the last time these two teams met. Both of 2 times. The Warriors were without Curry, but no problems. 15 straight wins for the Warriors against the Rockets. That makes it end soon as Brooks draws the and-one.
All sorts of contact there off the floater for the former Memphis Grizzly. He's going to go to the line.
He does have a Wikipedia tattoo on one of his shoulders, it seems. Yeah, he does have a Wikipedia tattoo. We have a W on one side and then a P on the other. For Brooks, he'll shoot the and-one. Got it. It is a 3-point lead for H-Town, with both Sengun and Jalen Green sitting. But this bench unit is so good. With Amen Thompson, as Podziemski leads the way. Hill doesn't fire it. Will lob in front. That is Kevon Looney, who's in the place of Draymond Green. Hill will look for free. They'll have to put something up. Kuminga lose the ball. Desperation heave. That went off the top of the backboard. And the Rockets will get the ball.
Kind of makes me wonder, Alec. I don't want to jump over your play-by-play. Dillon Brooks just lost a bet.
Well, I wondered if that was the reason why he had that Wikipedia tattoo. He rattles his free in and out. Hield has the rebound for the far side. It's Kuminga, young star of this Warriors team. Podziemski, hot to handle for him, but he gets it. Podziemski one-on-one Brooks. Left hash. He'll look. Kicked out. And a deep heave for Hield. Had his airballed. And the Rockets will get it back.
Oh, by the way, gentlemen, when we get to a commercial break, I just found a Reddit post of how Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Danilo Gallinari are tied back to the first trade Sam Presti ever made back in 2007. This is insane.
We'll have to hear it soon enough over the next commercial break. Yeah, right after the Rockets, they missed that free layup, but Kuminga gave it away. Pass over to Brooks. He'll go to the right hash. The first to Thompson, and now all the way back to Van Vliet. Van Vliet's the floor general right now with Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun out the bench. Van Vliet in and out on the free. Rebound taken up by Lodi. 6 turnovers for the Warriors in the quarter. The Rockets only have 2 for comparison. Podziemski watched one-on-one by Jabari Smith Jr. From the right hash, Podziemski fakes it. This layup rolls out. Brooks the other way. The native of Mississauga, Ontario, has his back turns to Podziemski. Smith can't get the screen, but he receives the ball. Back for Van Vliet. Van Vliet looks, searching for options. Give and go between him and Smith. Now it's cutting to the inside. No reverse layup for Tari. Tari Eason steps out. Van Vliet with 2. Fires it deep. Off the backboard. Rush to the ball. Grabbed by Lodi. Far side. The Warriors take it back up. And we'll have a timeout with 2:09 left. Both teams will huddle up after a practice three-pointers made.
Ian, if you got it now, this will be the time to be able to lay down the law there. As far as for the trades, I'm interested. You got my ears.
Okay, so someone tracked this, and they tracked it back to 2007 when Sam Presti. Okay, so the first trade was when they traded a player named Rashard Lewis to the Orlando Magic for a 2009 second-round pick to get rid of his contract. The second trade, he then traded that pick to the Phoenix Suns for Kurt Thomas, a 2008 first-round pick, which was used to select Serge Ibaka, and a 2010 first-round draft pick, where they selected Quincy Pondexter. Phoenix received something in that. The third trade, they traded Serge Ibaka to the Orlando Magic for Ersan Ilyasova, Victor Oladipo, and Domantas Sabonis. The fourth trade, they trade Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis to the Indiana Pacers for Paul George. And then finally, the fifth trade, trading Paul George to the Clippers for Danilo Gallinari, SGA, a 2021 first-round pick, which was used to select Trey Mann, a 2022 first-round draft pick, which was used to select Jalen Williams, a 2023 first-round draft pick, which selected Jaime Jaquez Jr., and a 2024 first-round draft pick that was used to select Dylan Jones, and they still have a 2025 first-round draft pick, a 2025 first-round draft pick, and a 2026 first-round draft pick. They also have a 2021 first-round draft pick. Well, that draft pick belonged to Miami, or is Miami's own 2023 first-round draft pick, which was top 14 protected, but eventually returned to Miami via trade for basically a bunch of first-round picks for trade. But yeah, you can trace back the SGA trade all the way back to 2007. It's insane.
Yeah, as Alec and I talked about, it's lottery tickets essentially for that organization there, and the Thunder just continue to hit. I mean, they have the chances. They don't have to spend like crazy, and then they're able to essentially go from Russell Westbrook to SGA and continue to keep stars and young players.
It's absolutely mind-blowing how they are continuing on with this and still going with the transition, a successful transition from Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook as the three-pointers miss for the Warriors, a successful transition to SGA and Chet Holmgren in this new era. Sengun's back. He'll loft the free. In and out. He's not one to shoot three-pointers very often, but when he gets an open look, he won't hesitate to shoot it. Curry will activate up, and it's a kickball violation. Who will keep it? It appears to be Golden State to keep it, as it was Tari Eason who kicked it.
That's what I got too. You're correct.
1:43 to go here in the quarter. Van Vliet defending right now for the Rockets as Podziemski looks left and right. Loney, give and go. Back to Podziemski. Keying in at the right wing, inside the right hash. In and out. Second time this has happened in this recent sequence. In the final 1:25 of the quarter. Van Vliet moving to the left. Parked at the logo. Wants to go up front. Finds Sengun. Sengun backpedals, and now it's Van Vliet. Hooking a ladder for Sengun as he moves over to the paint. Sengun puts it up. It's short. Loney helps out Curry on this rebound. Steph Curry forced to the right. See, it's watched 1-on-1 by Aaron Holiday. Curry puts this one through and connects. 1 minute to go.
Looked like he might have got hit on the hands as he was talking with the referees as well. No call.
58.5 to go as he is asking, hey, where's the foul for the handshake? We can't do that anymore in this league. Well, the whistle was for the clock issue and not for the no call. So they have reset to 1 minute. Rockets have it. It is Van Vliet. Van Vliet moving it on Podziemski. To the left, watched by Curry. Another shake and bake. Gets a switch. Van Vliet to Holiday. And the free on the way. Rattles out. Sengun bats it up. Rockets keep. It's Van Vliet. Hits free on the way. In and out. That's another free that went in and out for the Rockets. Ball was still loose. Referees coincide with one another to discuss. Warriors ball.
That's what we're going to get right now with 36.8. This game is tied at 18, and the question now, Alec, is who is happier with this quarter right now? Because Golden State hasn't had the game get farther away from them, but it feels like Houston's had some open threes they just missed.
They will wave off this basket attempt for a whistle, as it is a personal on Aaron Holiday with 27.2. He's got some meaningful minutes in the last game when the Rockets beat the Clippers without Fred VanVleet. For defensive purposes, he has been thriving. Reed Shepherd still needs to get acclimated onto the NBA environment on how it's way different than the NCAA. Curry hook and ladder from Waters. On the right side, Kyle Anderson. Too hot to handle for Waters. Rockets will have it.
Man, that seemed like an easy pass. I know it was above the head there for slow-mo to Waters, but still, you got to be able to get a hand on that one.
You must. Otherwise, it feels like it's hot potato out there, John.
Yeah, it does. 7 turnovers for Golden State to 2 for the Rockets.
I feel like the Rockets have to be happier with this outcome, but do remember, they have lost 15 straight against the Warriors. They want to end that tonight. With 12 seconds, back deep is Amen Thompson. 10 seconds as Van Vliet puts a screen. Thompson gets a switch with GP2 on him. Whistle blows, 6.9 to go. This will be a foul on GP2.
Yeah, a little reach in there. So give another opportunity here for Houston to try to make something happen. I think it should be pretty good. They should be able to take the lead on this.
Thompson out there to inbound as he looks towards the left and now to the right. Inside for Tari Eason, who lays this one up. That breaks the shooting slump. Warriors, last chance to answer. Podziemski at the buzzer. Off the mark. And the Rockets will head to the second, leading 20-18 in a defensive slugfest.
Yeah, you could definitely say that again, Alec. And again, I'll mix in between the second and third, and then I'll have you close if you want to do it that way, because this is your team, so you should take the fourth quarter here. 20-18, I'm surprised it isn't a little more fast-paced than this, but you're right. There's been some turnovers, a little bit of defensive play here. We'll see what's out in front of us. My question for you, though, because I know I've heard the name from the rookie that's coming in, but Brandon Podziemski, what do you think his role is here for the Warriors? He's a good bench piece that maybe can get you double digits at most, maybe 12, 13 points?
Double digits that you can say from Podziemski. I've watched him play a couple of games, especially in the past. That one double overtime thriller between the Warriors and the Lakers, in which I didn't mean to cover eventually, but this game went on for so long, it really beat up my voice back then. But Podziemski is someone that you can rely on for double-digit scoring, whether he be starting or whether he be off the bench. He's listed as a shooting guard, but he can also play the point guard position as well. He filled in at the shooting guard position in the place of Klay Thompson when Klay was thrust onto the bench. Klay's still thriving in the league right now, but merely now as a third option behind Luka and Kyrie and Dallas. But Podziemski is definitely one you can trust.
No, I appreciate that, because when I look at that between Kuminga and Podziemski, those are probably the extra guys outside of Steph Curry and Draymond that they're probably going to go to. And if you want it, if you're management, I would think if you package Podziemski and Kuminga, you could probably get something good. But in return, let's just be honest here and project it. Would you really want to get somebody? I'm not saying he's not good, but he's older now. And Jimmy Butler or some of those other pieces like that or try to make a move. I know Andrew Wiggins isn't playing today. He'd be another one of those pieces of it. I just think the Warriors, in my personal opinion, they probably won't do this, Alec, but I think they probably should stand for that.
Probably they are maybe content with the core that they have and that they're gelling together. They shouldn't, but if a team is desperate enough to make a move, they probably may reach out to Jimmy Butler.
That was some of the things that I saw in prep for this, so I'm interested to see what happens a little bit later in the year. Alec, I know we have two options. We don't know which we're going to see yet, depending on the schedule, but I think it's, 4:30 and 8:30 on Saturdays, so whatever you want to go with, I'll jump in with you.
Probably maybe lean towards the 8:30 side, given, and I don't have really any plans around the afternoon side of things, but whatever matchup is at 8:30, I may gladly take that. Maybe it's going to be a Western Conference matchup, depending on who they pin against one another. The NBA will have to settle this out, though.
All right, so Alec and I will take the late game on Saturday, and then the championship game is on Tuesday, so I'll be there with you for those. Again, I apologize I couldn't get to the game yesterday. It certainly seemed like it was pretty exciting between the Mavericks and the Thunder.
But it was, I'll tell you, it was a masterful defensive performance from the Thunder in the very end. It was tight early, but the Mavs and Thunder have been known for having tight matches with one another. This one was tight until it wasn't, thanks to the Thunder and their elite defense at the end. Shout out to Lou Dort, by the way.
Lucian Stort's still getting the job done. I like that shout out. So again, I'm a little bit behind Alex here, so I'm not yet to step into the second or third quarter here, so Alec will need to be a little more patient with me. Again, we've worked a lot of these games, so they'll be used. Been a while since we've covered any NBA, but the NBA Cup, we enjoyed it last year, as Jabari Smith Jr. is getting the interview from Stephanie Redding.
Jabari Smith Jr. is someone that I really paid high attention to on my iBoy squad. That he has been increasing his role ever more and more throughout the years.
So Draymond Green in the second. Draymond from 12 make the pass. So it's a wild one. It's a 3-on-1 developing now for the Rockets. Amen. Reverse lays it in. That was a sweet move.
You turn defense into offense. You poke away the pass intended from Draymond, and then you turn it into a nice little move on the other side for a nice, beautiful reverse layup. But Steph Curry makes a layup the other way.
Yes, he does. And now the Rockets will get started here left to right. Again, they are at home. We're at the red court in the NBA Cup, and the black jerseys. Pretty good color differential here. I kind of like the way that all this is set up. All sorts of contact inside the paint. I'm not sure why there wasn't a foul, but Jalen Green makes a floater from 8.
Jalen Green is more willing to take contact year in and year out.
And this is stolen again. Ime Udoka's team on the run. A 3-on-1. Alperen Sengun's going to get an easy one. Defense to offense. Steve Kerr says, let's talk about it.
I mean, why wouldn't he? This is suffocation at its finest, John. We talked about the Thunder having the league's best defense this year. The Rockets are up in the top 3 discussion in terms of defense this year. Feels like a transcendent rise in the style of what the Denver Nuggets did in 2019, if I want to put it into comparison. But defense, when you have it at the maximum on one end, usually translates to offense at the other end. Offense by means of defense.
Love it. And again, this is what I envisioned, I think, going into this broadcast with you and on this side is this is what the Rockets want to do. Again, when you have a young team, you want to be able to get out, run in transition, and score some easy baskets. But I also, again, as you mentioned, I love the way that Ime Udoka was able to reel his guys in. I heard Charles Barkley and Kenny the Jet Smith talk about it, calling out his team, saying that they're a little bit soft. That's interesting to be able to do that so early in their careers. But again, I think he commands their respect.
Yeah, he does, given that he has reached the NBA Finals in his first season as an NBA head coach. Comes from the Boston Celtics system, which runs a European style of basketball. Wants to bring that European style of basketball to a Rockets team that's in need of playoffs experience. And they got that playoff experience not only in Ime Udoka, but also in some other notable veterans. We mentioned about Jeff Green being one of those. And even though his playing time has went down, that's why you go after veterans like Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks, who give you valuable playoff experience.
Yep, voices you can expect, valuable playoff experience, as you said, people that hold people accountable. You need good NBA veterans when you have this many young budding stars, I will say, on the Houston Rockets. I think that will come into fruition. I think it's a good roster construction.
Yeah, that's not even mentioning Steven Adams, who was on the Rockets bench.
Sure, absolutely. Again, this reminds me I'm not going to say this in the terms of team construction, but a Rockets team that has a future, and again, I'm taking you through the Wayback Machine of the Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, Kyle Lowry off the bench days.
You know, that does give some nice memories between T-Mac and Yao Ming. Those were some of the nice days before James Harden came to Houston.
Yeah, it was a Rockets team. I think there was a consistent playoff team. I know Yao didn't have a long career, but Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. He was a big impact player. He had the Tracy McGrady memories against the San Antonio Spurs. I still like to watch those highlights of those final seconds every time that pops up on YouTube. So I'm not going to lie to anybody. Those are probably my favorite Rockets teams. But you know what? Considering what we have right now, as you said, in a new era, we might see something that we're going to see for quite a while. I'm still waiting for the commercial break right now, but we'll be getting going here in a moment.
Well, Ernie Johnson is all over the place at the TNT side. Baseball, basketball, hey, probably getting himself involved into some USA soccer matches on the panel as well.
Man, he's got that much on his plate already for Ernie. I mean, at this point, you'd think he'd be slowing down, but he's kind of he's still the mastermind getting all that stuff done for Turner Sports.
Oh, yeah, he is.
So Draymond Green, as they cut right into action for the commercial break, as this will be bounced here for Kyle Anderson now to Draymond. Shot clock down to 5. It's at the Cup logo here for the Houston Rockets. And now Slow-Mo puts an elbow down. He tries to force up something. I'm surprised. That's a shot clock violation, but no foul there. Being an opportunity here for the Houston Rockets. But Steve Kerr, watch that first possession amount to nothing.
That you could not defend that any better if you're the Rockets. You force a shot way wide of the rim from Kyle Anderson. Not even close, but that was perfectly defended.
Yeah, and you don't normally see this from his teams as young as they are to have that attention to detail on defense. But again, as we talk about in the Udoka, these guys have a lot of ceiling still left to go. There's Alperen Sengun, a little fade. And I think Draymond's going to get called for a foul here.
He's putting his case to the officials right now. He doesn't believe that it is a foul. I don't know if there will be a challenge, but do remember, Steve Kerr's already used his timeout. I don't think he is willing to use his challenge right here. Draymond wants some clarification.
I agree with you on that. We're going to see Alperen Sengun go to the line and shoot a couple. Decent free throw shooter as well, so shouldn't really have any worries about it. But the Houston Rockets can start this second quarter if he makes both with an 8-2 run.
Oh, yeah. The first free throw sailing, but it feels like his routine, he's whispering right to the ball. I wonder what incantations he's saying. Please don't enchant the ball.
That reminds me of a longtime Indiana Pacer, Jermaine O'Neal, used to do a lot of that stuff. So Alperen Sengun might be doing much of the same. Little push off at the free throw line, doesn't matter. Alperen Sengun does make both, and the Rockets now up by 8. This is a really good second quarter for them. We're really just getting underway here. As Draymond Green almost loses it to Steph Curry. He's had a hard time holding the basketball. Curry for 3 for the right wing. Missed it too short out the front of the rim, and I think this ball is going to be tied up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a jump ball and such. Yeah, it will be a jump ball. It was a tie-up. Nice initiation by Gary Payton Jr. in trying to look to get back possession for the Warriors. You want to get that defense at your own end of the court and your scoring end so that you get your guys another chance.
This would be Gary Payton. I see Trace Jackson Davis has just checked in. He's standing near Sengun as the referee trying to get everything settled here. Again, the Houston Rockets up by 8, 28-20. John Under with you alongside Alec Nava. This is an NBA Cup semifinal. This is the late game, again, because we had the Rangers and the Buffalo Sabres also on TNT. This one tipped a couple times. Back to Curry. Doesn't shoot it as the shot clock reset to 14. Spin, and what a dunk there for Trace Jackson Davis in amongst the trees.
You're splitting the gap entirely on a spinorama dunk.
So Rockets now. Green, good hands-up defense. Here's Lindy. He's got the ball now right wing side. Leave the pill for Draymond. Right down the cup and throws it down.
Just like his younger days.
He doesn't mind that, the former Michigan State Spartan. He says bring on the contact. If Draymond Green can do that, then you have no problem what he's going to bring on the floor. As this is Jalen Green off the step back now. Holiday floater, yes sir. He banks it in off the backboard.
Even though Jalen Green's a shooting guard, that time he functioned more like a point guard. He distributed right to, ironically, a point guard.
Lindy now, little hook. This one too strong off the back iron, and Sengun will now get this one Jalen. Here's an in and out move toward the right side elbow. Little jump pass. Simon Thompson. Holiday's wide open, and he missed it off the left side of the lid of the cup. As Lindy lost it. Now this is inside. Sengun, what a pass and a finish inside.
Oh, I gotta love that. That's a nice takeaway. He's stripping it away from the Warriors, and then Sengun finding the cutting Jabari Smith Jr. for the two-handed slam, or Tari Eason rather. But what a move there.
Lindy, Draymond left corner, too strong. Sengun tip. This goes right to Steph. Steph now. In and out move. Step back for three. And this one too strong as it's rebounded by Houston. But that was a heck of a pass for Sengun. He was looking like Jokic there with the eyes at the back of his head. And tight jump pass. Sengun now will get this one across. There's a couple of jump stops here for Holiday. Try to push through Lindy. Thompson for 12. And he missed it. This opportunity now for GP2. Here for Lindy. As this goes right ringside for Trace. Trace will back away from the right elbow. We'll get a whistle here at 7:45 in the second.
I believe it may be not a foul. Yeah, it is a foul against Tari Eason, but nonetheless, what a dunk there by Draymond Green as he took the pass coast to coast, and then you have to steal by Jalen Green immediately. That is suffocation at its finest from the Houston Rockets, the Ime Udoka brand of basketball.
I really like watching this team right now, Alec, and if we can get some more of these again, you say you follow the Rockets, I wouldn't mind riding your coattails here. This is some good basketball. It's not just settling, and I'm enjoying really watching this as it's Draymond Green. He's got this top elbow. He's a rocket of a pass. Gary Payton second's got to get it. Here's Curry. This is blocked off the back iron. And the shot clock violation, another defensive play for the Rockets.
Excellent defense. We mentioned defense time and time again. That first quarter was the epitome of defense, but you turn an Amen Thompson block, it goes back onto Golden State as they could not even get a shot off on time. That shot clock was all the way down to 0 by the time they got it back. Excellently done from Thompson.
That was a jump out of the building there, a la LeBron James. We've seen that a lot. Alvin Thompson deserves that credit. Golden State Warriors, they get a defensive stop. Buddy Hield steps into a three. He can't make it. There's been some wide open looks, but the Golden State Warriors can't cash in. Now they'll take this one across the timeline. Shot clock down to 15. Oh, what a slam! Jalen Green!
Take off, young fella. That's the highlight reel dunks that Jalen Green provided in ending into the NBA and the G League.
I'm going to lose my voice here. My goodness, Jalen Green. This opportunity now for Trace. Late for Podzimski. One more pass. Now it's Kuminga. 0-0. God, I got to make something happen. Buddy Hield going to run out of time again. And they don't even know what the shot clock is right now. Discombobulation for the Warriors.
But this time, I cannot get this onto great defense. The Warriors forgot that there was a running shot clock and it was going down to 0. They looked confused at all sorts, and by the time Gary Payton got open, the shot clock already expired. What were they doing?
I'm not sure what's happening right now, but you think, Alec, they've got to be caught in the moment right now, and the Houston Rockets have a good opportunity to just continue to do damage, and Jalen Green cannot be stopped. What a move.
He's on a heater right now, John. That's a nice, funky, mid-range step.
Here's an opportunity now. Pass from Jackson Hayes, and this one will be sent back. I think that was Pat Spencer. Not familiar with him, but he puts this one in for Golden State. But it's still 10-36-26. This will be an opportunity now for the Rockets. Here is a screen. In toward the right side, Tari Eason off the spin. Good spacing here for the Rockets. Trying to force their way through, but a rip all the way across. Now the Warriors. Here's Buddy Hield, doesn't shoot, at least for Kuminga. Wide open right wing, they need that badly. But this one's saved by the Rockets. Warriors just can't put the ball in the basket right now. It's 16-8 in the second quarter. It's 36-26 with 5:35. As this is a back away for Jalen Green. He might try to set up an isolation. Here's Amin, fakes the Euro. And now this will be an opportunity inside Dylan Brooks. He gets swatted. Good defense there for Jackson Davis. And we get a stoppage, 5:22.
A foul here, but there are a few teams in the NBA that can go 12 deep in their rotations like the Golden State Warriors. And it does help that you have Jerry Stackhouse as one of your assistants at the coaching staff. While his NBA reputation, it has been around as a veteran presence, the fact that he is on the coaching staff serves valuable experience to the young guys. But 12 deep, that shows the depth of the Golden State Warriors to the show. It's not just Steph Curry.
I'm getting into the play-by-play in a second, but gentlemen, you know I'm a little bit older here at 37. You want to make me feel very old. You see Jerry Stackhouse is the assistant coach with Grant Hill on the play-by-play. That's the Teal Pistons days. Podzimski for three. This one misses. Another rebound there for the Warriors, but they'll see if they'll count the basket. I don't think so.
They will not. It's a loose ball foul on Buddy Hield, but the Warriors have to be desperate for something. But what we're seeing here, John, is old school basketball.
Yes, we are. And again, Alec, I'm not being disingenuous. I'm just saying because you guys are in the broadcast, I agree. This is basketball that I want to watch right now. As Jalen Green step back, he continues to do the damage. That's a long two, but that was nasty.
Team first basketball, as what is attributed to old school basketball. That's what the Rockets are running right now, and they're forcing the Warriors to play their game.
Spin for Jackson Davis. Got to throw it out. Kuminga. Here is a chance and gets ripped out of midair. Rockets continue to lead the defense in the second. This is beautiful. Green. Then it's cleaned up by Thompson.
I love it. I love it. The strip, and you convert it onto a double-handed slam by Amen Thompson the other way. I love it. If you want to slay the dragon, this is how you do it.
The Rockets only scored 20 in the first. They already have another 20 with 4:14 left to go in the second. It's 40-26.
Guess Steve Kerr is going to discuss how to slow down this Rockets group because Houston is firing on all cylinders.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think they can slow down the Rockets as much as they want to. Let's say if they're operating at 100% right now, Alec, they might be able to get them down to 70. But who on the Warriors is going to score points besides Steph?
Would it be someone like a Jonathan Kuminga of that sort? This is who we're expecting to see. That's not just Steph, that we also get the production from Kuminga. How about Andrew Wiggins?
Andrew Wiggins would be a part of that if he was in the game today, and they really need him. And the question now is if the late game, and I hope it is, will be Rockets OKC. I'm going to be dialed into that one. I might need to bring some popcorn during the play-by-play.
You know,
So, do you guys, would it be accurate to say that OKC and Houston are the, what do you call it? How would I say this? They're the teams that use team-based basketball the most in the league right now?
Yes.
that's team-based basketball, at least in the Western Conference, because you also have the Memphis Grizzlies to account for, and then you have the reigning champion Celtics that can play team-based basketball. It's not just Tatum and Jalen most of the time for them. The Cavaliers could be another example such, but if you talk about team-based basketball, you think of the Thunder, Rockets, and let me throw another team out for you two. The Grizzlies.
I know that it's like a heated team for you, Alec, here for the Grizzlies. Ja Morant's a good player, and I'm not saying the Grizzlies aren't good. And I know that their team construction's pretty good as well, but Houston's impressing the hell out of me right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Team-based basketball is the style of basketball that teams thrive off of. That's not me. Us.
Yeah, and that's what I'm seeing right now. I agree with both of you gentlemen here. I'm just interesting to see how long that this can go. And I think, Alec, you made the right call here in the sense of, what the Pacers did when we talked about the NBA Cup last season and now what the Rockets are doing. And it really kind of looks that same way. And again, I mentioned this in between Alperen Sengun, Jalen Green. You have the mixing for Jabari Smith Jr. You got Amen Thompson. You got 4 guys that are not even 22 years old yet.
It's still a very young team, but this experience here from NBA Cup play, I believe, they're going to use that on the way to a potential NBA playoff berth.
Who knows what we might see here in about 26, 27. I know we're about to end 2024 here. We could have a Houston Rockets team that could consistently get into the Final Fours. And I'm just seeing that out there from what I'm looking at. Podziemski, that was a 3, and that was that was a 3. 40-29, it was a good-looking shot, Alec.
Yeah, wide open with the screen right in front, but they needed that. They want to cut back.
So, Van Vliet inside, that's a lazy pass. Buddy Hield, what does he want to do here? He'll float it right in off the glass. That's 5 straight for the Warriors. It's badly needed after the timeout. And now we'll see what happens the rest of the way. You don't want to throw away everything that the Rockets have been doing here early in this second. You want to keep it going and at least kind of just continue those points along the line as much as you can. And Sengun, he tries to battle for the ball here, and we'll see what we get.
Sengun's begging for a jump ball. I believe he'll get his wish. But I don't think Van Vliet saw who he was going to intend to pass to. But these last few passes have been basically miscommunication by the Rockets.
That's what I would say too, Alec. Again, not even close here. Steph Curry going to enter for Trace Jackson-Davis, and Draymond Green comes in for Pat Spencer. As Podziemski, again, last season about 9 points, this season about 8. He's shooting a little bit worse, though, especially from 3. He was at 39% last year to just about 25. So they need his floor spacing. We'll see if that continues. This will be tipped at center court with Podziemski and Sengun in a moment.
They're getting Curry and Draymond back on the court. They need their 2 leaders to energize this team.
So it is Sengun with the back tap. This one saved by Fred. We'll start this one again. About 20 seconds left to go across the timeline. Jalen Green, he's been electric here from mid-step throughs, dunks. He's showcased everything that he can do. Inside positioning, Sengun, little hook and hit over Draymond. He was just 2 underneath the cup there.
Little circus reverse layup there for Alperen Sengun.
As Draymond will put the ball on the deck. Inside now, Kuminga, see if he wants to half spin against the Rockets defense. That's a really good floater there for Kuminga as he knocks that one down from 10.
You called it, John. Little half spin and then the adjustment towards his left for that mid-range shot.
That's a good skill from a very young player there on the Warriors, as this one is a step back for Jalen. He doesn't have a lot to work with on the shot clock, down to 5. He's being doubled. I think he might have got hit in the head. This should stay with the Rockets.
Yeah, it should. I don't believe there's a foul going to be called here, even though he may be wanting one.
So, shot clock just under 4. Bounce pass. Fred's got to shoot a leaner. This one's saved by Sengun. They try to throw it inside of Dylan Brooks. It gets tapped. It's going to be a wide open 3. And it's missed off the front of the rim. Kuminga, a little bit too strong. And this should stay again with the Rockets.
What is going on here at the Rockets' offensive end of the court? We've had a crazy offensive sequence after the missed free where it was all up for grabs. It's like a tip drill going on here.
Fred's going to be the trigger man inside one out of bounds. Here's Sengun. He's stuck near the right wing. Don't want to get caught to the side out of bounds. Sengun now against Green. He's got it at the right elbow. Tries to step through down to 2, and his pass doesn't find anybody. Turnover Rockets.
Went off a leg, off a Rocket player. I believe it was Jalen Green at Sengun. He was trying to find the right corner guy.
1:50 left to go in the second. Houston still up by 9. 42-33. Curry, float pass, and Draymond's got a red carpet right to the rim. He lays it in.
That is an epic gaff there. You don't leave anyone open at the paint, wide open down through the middle. If you're trying to defend the paint, you set up someone at one of the hash marks. And then when the guy is coming onto the paint, get that guy there.
So since this timeout, Warriors, they're getting some easy ones. Curry off the steal. He lays it in off the window. It's 42-37. I imagine Ime Udoka's going to want to call a TO.
He should, because the Warriors have been on a hot run to adjust to the Rockets' defense. Ime needs to get his guys to get together, get back to the offensive dynamics that they were before this hot run by the Warriors.
Alec, this almost feels like a finger snap, doesn't it? The Warriors, or the Rockets, couldn't do anything wrong in the mix of it. Again, they were badly outscoring Golden State, but ever since this TV timeout with the extension of, let me just say, about 2 minutes 30 seconds, it's been all Warriors.
Yeah, it's been all Warriors ever since that last time out from Steve Kerr, which he badly needed to get that one because his guys need to get onto the rhythm. Snap out the funk. Anything to recoup for all that lost momentum that they had previously. As you mentioned, the snap of finger, feels like they flipped the switch.
Yeah, they did. And now it's essentially a 5-point game here. Again, the ESPN ticker is going to be a little bit ahead of me, so I won't say what goes out ahead, as we're going to call this play-by-play. John, I'm with you alongside Alec Nava. I feel like I'll take the third and have Alec close because it's only fair to do so on that side. And if Jalen Green continues some of his athletic play, I might not have a voice by the end of tonight.
Well, that fourth quarter, things may go down to the wire, as it's been the first two meetings of this series.
So it's been pretty good, as you said, Alec, between both of these down to the wire, and these are two teams that are pretty familiar with each other, correct?
Yes.
So this is the Emirates NBA Cup. Again, this is the late semi on TNT. You got a couple games on the weekend side between ESPN and TNT. Alec and I are going to take the late game that will be on Turner as well, as this will be an opportunity for the Rockets. Sengun, near the right side of the key. Here is Green. He will spin. Leave it off for Sengun. Finishes with the opposite hand over Green. That was a sweet play.
That looks like a Kyrie Irving type of layup where he switches and adjusts to the surroundings.
Curry, no-look feed to Hield, who was wide open, but he can't buy a bucket right now. And this is a really lazy turnover, Sengun. Podziemski, he'll spin. Leave it now for Buddy Hield. One more for Podziemski. He'll step and leave this one across for Kuminga. Shot clock down to 10. Game clock at 30 seconds. Leaner, too strong. And Sengun says, this time, just come here and grab it. So he gives it to Fred VanVleet. No more turnovers, as it's about a 4-second difference between shot clock, game clock. Here is Fred. He's got it at the Toyota Center logo now, straight from Alperen. Podziemski in his grill. Alperen now trying to work through. Draymond Green pushes him away. This gets knocked out of the air. Now down to 5. Steph's got to go. Crosses the timeline. Down to 2. Shoots from 35. This one misses off the back iron. And the Rockets have a 44-37 lead at half.
Defense, defense, defense. That's been the common theme of this game. We're seeing an old school style of battle. At both teams, they've been earning points. It's not given. At that last possession, it felt like the Rockets, they want to get into a lane, but the Warriors, they were prepared for where the Rockets got into that lane. The comfort zone. The Warriors took away that comfort zone from the Rockets and wanted to get that last bit of momentum towards them onto a deep heave from Steph Curry. Damian Lillard range of such.
Yeah, it's been majority Alec again with a little bit of a spurt there from the timeout that we talked about coming in from the break, where the Warriors had a little bit of a pushback. But it's been a really good half here for the Rockets. If they continue this way, I wouldn't be surprised if they get the matchup with OKC in a few days.
Oh, yeah, I would want to have another one of those defensive fests between us and the Thunder. Given that the Rockets and the Thunder's reputation as top defenses in the league. Big difference here, the Thunder, they have already a superstar with them, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We'll see if Sengun can take that next step. But Sengun's may find himself, if we win this game, he's going to find himself into some tough looks with Isaiah Hartenstein.
So I'm looking, admittedly, Alec, again, I was watching a little bit of the hockey game and getting some of the other stuff set up for tomorrow. So I didn't get a chance to see the Hawks and the Knicks, but it looks like the Hawks took a 108-100 victory over New York. And when I'm looking on the box score, my eyes open a little bit because DeAndre Hunter scored 24 points off the bench. He absolutely destroyed the Knicks bench by himself.
And you know, Trae Young loves to play against the Knicks. The Hawks love to play against the Knicks. It's one of those teams in which the Hawks have had the Knicks number in the last few years. So a kind of matchup where this happens would have been in the books for those who are wondering. 22 for Ice Trae with 11 dimes. We wonder about true point guards. Trae Young may be establishing it as someone of a true point guard at one of the current era that Tyrese Halliburton may also be up there, but it's nice and it has the feeling of relief seeing a true point guard because that breed is a rare breed. Not since Chris Paul and John Stockton that we've seen these types.
Yeah, you're right about that. And Trae Young is one of those guys that likes to score a little bit more. I'm surprised when I look at the box to see Jalen Johnson play 41 minutes. So in between him and Trae Young, if you're ready for this, they shot 16 of 42 at the starter side. So there was no surprise as far as where the offense was going to come from.
And Hunter can provide valuable scoring off the bench. He was a starter previously, but he's been more comfortable playing off the bench. Onyeka Okongwu, another guy who can provide value off the bench. He has 12 points.
And I want to flip just for a moment here, Alec, to the New York Knicks. I know they lost in this one, but every time I watch this guy play, I'm always impressed. The guard out of Villanova. And you know what I'm talking about here? I could say Jalen Brunson, and that would be the right answer, but Josh Hart, what a game he had in the loss, though. 8 of 12, 3 of 5 from distance. He had 8 rebounds, 6 assists to go with 21 points. I don't know how he does it. It might just be effort level, but he is one of the best guard rebounders maybe I've ever seen.
He's an all-effort guard, an athletic guard as such, and he can even switch onto the small forward side where he is normally starting with Mikal Bridges starting at the 2. Hart provides effort and hustle for the Knicks. 21, 8, and 6 with a steal. Another guy who I want to give a shout out to, Karl Anthony Towns, who had 19 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks. You could argue that Towns was the best player on the floor for the Knicks tonight.
I can't believe that I'm also seeing this off the bench because I know he played for Northwestern. He didn't draw into this one, but Boo Buie is now a NBA player. So when I follow the Big Ten, I continue to see that across. So I believe now, Alec, it's going to be set up for the Bucks and the Hawks, correct, now for the NBA semis. So that could be interesting. The Bucks have been playing very well of late.
Eastern Conference Finals rematch from when the Bucks won the NBA championship, where they got by the Hawks in a 6-game series. The Bucks, they were without Giannis for half of that series. It was mostly Chris Middleton and Bobby Portis doing the work, but also Drew Holiday and his defensive prowess.
So we'll continue to monitor that as we go across toward Saturday. We're in the middle of our half right now. Again, this is a pretty good start here for the Houston Rockets, especially defensively, 44-37. Again, they're shooting 20 of 46, 43.5%. The Warriors are at 38.1, 16 of 42. They've missed some chances, but boy, oh boy, let's talk about this in the story, because again, you might miss some of these things during the live play-by-play, but gentlemen, make sure you're sitting down for this one, because this is putrid. The Warriors are 4 of 22 from distance. The Rockets are 7.7% at 1 of 13.
So you're not seeing three-point shooting a lot here. It's been going way down tonight. Between them, it's strange to see just 5 three-pointers made here, especially between two teams that were well known for three-point shooting in the past, especially the Warriors with Steph Curry, who was 2 of 6. It's basically a three-point shooting slump. But if you want but for the old school basketball players, this game is for you.
Yeah, there has been good defense from that, but I had to go ahead and mention that across because, again, don't see that very often. Talk about it. You have 8 steals for Golden State, 6 for the Rockets. You had 2 blocks for Houston, 6 for Golden State. So they're really trying to hang their hat on the defensive end. The Rockets' largest lead was 14. The Warriors have only led by 1. Points in the paint are where the Rockets have the biggest advantage right now, 32-20. I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys about this, and you talked a little bit about the Major League Baseball free agency, but the Juan Soto damage is done. It's, $765 million. It was the Yankees about $5 million less, maybe a year last year or so. What do you think about the Mets' big move?
How do I put this? Money is a social construct for Steve Cohen.
Yep.
I mean, that's about all I can say. And you know what? If you're gonna go big, and you're going, because John, it was interesting before this game started. You mentioned they're going the way they're rehashing the Bobby Bonilla day.
Yeah.
I beg to differ. Because while Bobby Bonilla was a good player, Bobby Bonilla, I don't believe was ever at the level that Juan Soto is right now.
I agree.
And here's the other difference. Yes, the contract is long. However, with how the Mets are right now, with their pitching, with their lineup, I don't believe that Juan Soto's production is going to fall off of a cliff, or that there's going to be a negative or losing culture with the Mets while he's there. Because Steve Cohen, I mean, we've already seen it. He'll do anything he has to secure a World Series.
Yes. Money is no object, as you said.
Yeah. So I don't believe the Mets are rehashing Bobby Bonilla. In fact, what the Mets have done. Look, I may complain about how a lot of major league clubs don't spend a lot, or some spend too much. Yet for some reason I'm not that mad about this. And maybe it's because the Yankees are the ones getting spurned by this move, but you know, and you know what it is? It's the fact that the Mets as a whole has been such a dumpster fire for decades. Besides 2 World Series appearances after 1986, what have the Mets mainly been known for?
Right. I mean, you would have to go, as you said, in between like Doc Gooden and Darryl Strawberry, correct? You have to go in the Wayback Machine, so you're right about that.
That, and when you look at the Mets, they're wanting to do anything to get that final push, whether it be any means possible. You mentioned to me about a good question, and John. How much are front offices and owners willing to spend? Of course, you have the big market teams. You also have the small market teams. It's a matter of who has the most pockets on this and who has the best deals. Here, the Mets had the best deal, and Steve Cohen and company did not hold back on offering Soto that contract. And it's more than earned for him. Would it be at the $765 million? Arguably, I would say he's not worth that money, but it's not my concern here because the contract was already put to paper. Soto's a Met, and he gives an extra boost onto an already elite batting order. If you can put him over at the 2, right behind Francisco Lindor and ahead of Mark Vientos, oh boy, that lineup is going to be so attractive. Now, the other question I have, who would you put at right field between Soto and Starling Marte? Because for that, whoever doesn't get the right field spot, I would imagine they get the DH.
And that's the thing too, Alec. And again, I agree with you, Ian, on that side too. You guys make great points, and I don't have any arguments or rebuttals for it. But in the sense for Juan Soto, you could talk about the contracts getting out of control, but you can also say this: you have one of the best hitters that we've seen in a long time. Ever since he stepped on the field in 19 with the Washington Nationals, not even in the prime of his career as a free agent. Of course, he's going to get that type of money. And Alec is exactly right in the sense of what you want to do. For Starling Marte or however you want to mix it, you have a guy that could play outfield for a long time, probably going to be preferably at the corner, and he's not going to fall off too much as they kind of transition to him as a DH in the later years. I think it's a win-win for the Mets, and as Ian said, for Steve Cohen, he doesn't even care about turning a profit. It's about winning a championship, and that's a good move that they made.
Yeah, and let's also not forget that while, yes, it's the Mets is stealing the spotlight, let's also look at some other deals. For instance, the Athletics. As soon as they leave Oakland, what do? They go out and get one of the, you know what? They go out and get one of the top free agent pitchers on the market in Luis Severino. 3 years, $67 million.
That feels like a slap in the face to the city of Oakland. As soon as the Athletics left Oakland, John Fisher increases payroll, and Luis Severino gets signed.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't even know how to take that one. If I was an Oakland fan, that's a mutiny.
Yeah. The Orioles signed Tyler O'Neill to a 3-year deal. What has me, I don't want to say shocked, but what's eyebrow raising is the fact that the Giants signed Willy Adames to that, and it's not so much the money because Willy Adames has been a very good player in recent seasons. It's the fact that it's the Giants who, I don't know, it almost feels like they're the Steelers of the MLB because they don't know when to stop, because they don't know if they want to, because they refuse to hit the reset button.
The Giants confuse me, honestly. I don't know what their plan is, but if they're going to sign Willy Adames, you would believe that that's for a team that's competing. The Giants are somewhere in the middle.
I agree with you. I'm looking at the moves right now. Again, Frankie Montas also going to be in Matt Aroldis Chapman going to the Red Sox. I see right now, I didn't check this today, but Garrett Crochet might be on his move now from Chicago to the Red Sox as well.
Oh, he already is. The trade was confirmed, and get this, the guys that Boston traded, all of them were in the top 20 of their prospect pool. I think, if I remember correctly, it was their number 4, number 5, number 11, and number 17 in number 17 prospect. That list, including a name that I believe we are all familiar with, Kyle Teal.
And so you're telling me the Chicago White Sox actually might have made a good trade?
Yes, and actually a White Sox fan. Now remember, this isn't the first time they've dealt an ace pitcher to the Red Sox. But a White Sox fan, he put out an interesting take, and I believe I can find the post for you gentlemen to review. But in short, what he said was, when the White Sox traded Chris Sale, the the trade basically started and ended with the development of Yohan Moncada. And when Moncada didn't work out, it basically made the trade worthless. However, you get Kyle Teel, but you also get Braden Montgomery, who will likely be in the top 10 of their prospect pool within the year. So you have, if one doesn't work out, but the other one does, something is still salvaged.
And that's what you got to have, because they haven't had any of that to work with for a long time, ever since the Moncada deal. So we're getting back into the play-by-play now. Sengun going to get hit in the eye. They'll go to the line. Gary Payton did make a layup. It's 44-39.
Ooh, that does not look good with the contact on the eye. I wonder if the vision's going to be okay for the rest of the game. Do remember, whenever you get poked over the eye, that is never good.
No, so we'll see if that's going to affect anything for Alperen Sengun, at least for the first free throw here, as he gets his routine going. You got Steph Curry on the floor out there with Buddy Hield, Gary Payton, Kuminga, and Draymond Green. You got your starters out there. As Sengun does miss the first, he's got one more coming.
At least I kind of expected that because of the poke right to the eye. That vision might have been affected, but at least he'll get one more shot.
He's got a little bit of a bruise, maybe a little bit toward red to the right side eye, and this one is made for Sengun, so they continue a good start here for the Rockets. It's 45-39. It was a pretty good first half all told, especially defensively, as we talked about alongside Alec Nava. Pocket pass, hang in the air, and Kuminga, good body control, gets the two.
The Warriors want to prioritize on smarter shot selection. They shot poorly from outside the paint, which was their bread and butter in that first half.
Sengun gets it knocked away. Good defense here for Draymond. Steph fakes the pass. Here's Hield, wide open, right wing side. He can't knock it down. It's Kuminga near the elbow. Here for Draymond, top of the key. Good ball movement around the horn as this goes back to Draymond. It's down to 5. Dylan Brooks is in his grill. Here's Curry, floater, too strong up front of the rim, and Sengun's got it. So we'll put one triple down and give it to Fred VanVleet. This will go right to left. Here across the timeline for the rest of this second half. Sengun now right wing. It's Jalen Green, set the screen. Jalen let it go. This one too strong. Picked up by Steph in the pass. Couldn't connect with the hands. Jabari's going to be open here. Shoots right wing side. He missed it. And Draymond Green, I don't think he held it. This will stay with the Rockets. My goodness.
That's the second time in this game in which the guy that was trying to secure the rebound had it deflect out of bounds.
Little hot potato, as you said, a little bit of sweat here, Alec. And again, nobody will get a hold of the pumpkin. Again, 4-23 for Golden State from distance. Rockets just 1 of 15, combined 24%. It's just off. As this one now for Fred VanVleet, he's going to put it down to 6%. He misses this one on the right wing side. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Kuminga somehow made that pass across, and this one bounces off of the Rockets. I don't think it hit Steph. It'll stay with Golden State.
Yeah, it bounced off of Dylan Brooks as he was trying to defend the pass right to Steph Curry. He doesn't want Curry getting hot from free anytime. That's a team's nightmare.
Yeah, we'll see if anybody can get sort of lukewarm here, Alec. That's something I'm waiting for right now. Again, they'll be taking the fourth. I'll cover you the way for the rest of the third, as it's Kuminga. Here's a screen from Gary Payton, as this one will be maybe a foul against Dylan Brooks. All sorts of contact there against GP2.
Yeah, Dylan Brooks may have shoved GP2 on setting the screen. That does not bode well.
Ime Udoka, a little stone face right now. I'm kind of thinking the same thing. If anyone's going to be able to hit an outside shot, but I still love the defensive efforts. Here's the trigger with Steph Curry for Kuminga. Down to 5. Kuminga, layup past the defense.
If I'm Dylan Brooks, I'm keeping my cool here. Don't get too hot-headed.
Here is a half spin. Now Jalen Green. He'll fade away. That was an exceedingly difficult one from 14, but he knocked it down.
Right from the free throw line, Jalen Green was been on a heater to end off the first half. He's turning it on.
Steph finally answers. 19-foot pull-up. As it's 47-45, this game is getting closer. Sengun, now an opportunity off an extra pass. He thought about the three, leaves it to Fred. Shot clock down to 10. 9 minutes left to go in the third. John under with you alongside Alec Nava and Genge. Here's Fred trying to make a pocket pass. Down to 2. Fred's going to let it go. This one gets knocked down from 24 feet. It's 50-45. It's Curry, Heald, Payton, Kuminga, and Green still on the floor for Steve Kerr's squad. GP2's got it number 0. Not often you see a number 0 and a double 0 also out there on the jerseys, not to confuse anybody. Gary Payton's wide open to shoot it. He missed it all. And this will be picked up here for Fred VanVleet. 8:25 left to go in the third. Houston up by 5. This is Jabari stepping into a 3. Big one, 53-45.
Just the second and third three-pointers for the Houston Rockets on the night. It's nice to see Steph Curry get back into action for Mr. Gold Medalist. There he lays this one in, so good to see him going as well.
Second opportunity where he thought he might have been fouled. Honestly, I don't think Steph had a beef on either one. Again, we can talk about fouls and officiating in the NBA and how different it is, but Steph's got a point. This one now to the left side baseline, slowly here for Fred. One more extra pass. He got Steph in his grill. Shot clock down to 5, right wing side. Sengun shoots contested from 14. This bounces off the backboard and down. This will be Golden State's ball.
That sometimes puts a smile on my face whenever the shot goes over the backboard. You rarely see that, but...
One of the times in the NBA Cup, and I know Alex did a lot more basketball games, we actually saw a wedgie when it got stuck in between the backboard. So maybe we'll get one of those. As Kuminga, screen from Gary Payton, and Dylan Brooks got hit hard, and then Dylan Brooks turned it on the acting job.
Oh yeah, the Paul George wedgie, the fifth three-pointer that could have potentially tied it for the Clippers against the Nuggets. Oh, Dylan Brooks, he tried to go up front. Yeah, that was a little acting job as he got a little screen from Gary Payton. Big block.
One more opportunity here for the Warriors. Kuminga off the step through. He will fight his way to the rack a couple times. Second effort lays it in.
Third time is the charm for Jonathan Kuminga. It's hard work and hustle.
Good effort there. As this is now Dylan Brooks, Sengun, one more pass. Right wing half spin. Dylan Brooks, good cash in off the glass. 55-49 Houston. This has been a very fun basketball game, as this is an opportunity one more time for Draymond Green from Kuminga to run point, and now Green will take a floater, and he'll knock this one in from 14. It's back within 4.
He's usually a defense-first player, but also at times can cash in on the offensive end of the glass.
Dylan Brooks, right wing, inside. Sengun, partially blocked. Good defense there for the Warriors. Green goes all the way. He gets swatted. It's picked up by Gary Payton. Buddy Hield. He's got to hit this one. Pump fake. Knocks it down right wing side. It's a 1-point game.
No market a deep 2, but nonetheless, Buddy Hield with a little how do you do?
Thank you for that, Alec. I thought that might have been a 3, but Buddy Hield needed that one. It's down to 6:05. VanVleet. One more. Sengun, too strong. And this one actually will bounce in. I thought that was going to miss. Sengun's going to make it. He got a friendly English roll there. 57-53. Down to 5:50. Curry. No foul. Floater inside. This will be an and one after this opportunity.
Oh, Steph Curry's showing his A game right now. This is what the Warriors needed. For having a response, having a spark. Already he's got his best run here in this third quarter after he was virtually silent in the first 2 quarters. He's up to 16 now. Chance to go up to 17. Given that he's one of the best free throw shooters of all time.
I love seeing the emotion, Alec, from Steph Curry. A little bit of a pump of the fist, a little bit of tongue sticking out there as we go to a break. It's 57-55. Rockets hold on to a 2-point lead.
Here's a timeout from Ime Udoka, but nonetheless, when we look at... I want to get back onto the MLB free agency side. We covered about Adames, but also with Max Fried going to the Yankees with the largest guaranteed deal by a left-handed pitcher in MLB history. which beat out both Clayton Kershaw and David Price. 8 years, $218 million. And I thought he was going to go to a team that was the likes of the Rangers or the Cubs, but the Yankees had the best offer.
So really, and again, I can't say this for sure, for the Stephanopoulos group or Alex Anthopoulos, I should say, excuse me, for the Braves, but Max Fried is a member of the Yankees. I thought maybe the Braves might try to hold on to that stuff, but I guess not.
Well, they may be content with Spencer Strider and Spencer Schwellenbach, this Spencer and Spencer show from what we could see in years to come, given that Strider may be fully back. Strider's their ace pitcher. Fried has been the co-ace of the team for as long as they can remember. And now he joins a Yankees team that already has Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, Luis Hill, who was named AL Rookie of the Year, who narrowly beat out Colton Cowser for that award.
Yeah, it's a better rotation there for the Yankees. And Alec, I mean, in between what we talked about in the World Series with the Dodgers, I think that's a piece that they really needed to get.
For sure. And you speak of the Dodgers, they're still waiting on any answers back from Teoscar Hernandez. And I think ever since the Juan Soto deal, I would imagine that Teoscar's price tag is already going up.
That's a little scary if you're the Dodgers, but again, he brought that in there to try to bet on himself. And I agree with you completely. I think Teoscar is going to get a good sum of money.
Wherever he goes.
There's also some other moves that happen. Andres Jimenez going to the Blue Jays. Nathan Eovaldi going back to the Rangers on a 3-year, $75 million deal. And the Miami Marlins and the Rangers, with the trading with each other, the Marlins getting 3 prospects back for 1 Jake Burger.
I want to just touch on the Blue Jays move for a moment, Alec. Does that maybe spell the end for 1 Bo Bichette?
I don't know, given that contract talks are going nowhere, but I guess this is it does signify a crossroads. What direction do you want to go?
Because, I mean, it wasn't that long ago between Calvin Biggio, Vlad Jr., and Bo Bichette that you thought that team was going to do something in the AL East. And, man, it just seems like they might blow the whole team up besides for Vlad.
Yeah, things change fast as Curry missed that free throw. You don't see that often, John.
No, not since the Kevin Harlan jinx, I believe. Oh, what a lob inside for Amin Thompson.
Beautiful lob from Fred VanVleet that set up the Amin Thompson two-hander right inside on the baseline. Woo, that got the crowd pumped.
Absolutely. Podziemski now. This will be an opportunity for Kuminga, still continuing to get some minutes. He is at the top of the key. Here's Podziemski, pro baseline. Buddy Hield is wide open. He needs it. He knocks it down. Warriors back within 1. It's 59-58. He's not been very good right now from 3, but he's one that can absolutely get it going, Alec.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's basically shooting practice whenever he is open.
Fred VanVleet can't make it happen. Trace Jackson Davis ended up getting the rebound. Warriors could actually take the lead here if they get a basket. Here is Buddy Hield. It's still 59-58, 4:35 left to go in the third. Here is Buddy off the spin. Leave it now for Kuminga. Thinking about the isolation against Jabari. He'll go baseline. This one rolls out. And Tari Eason will get the basketball. Now for Jabari. Got all sorts of speed in those young legs. Again, as a lot of the Houston Rockets do. And the Udoka squad will look on here. They're only up by 1. They've played much better than this, with the Golden State Warriors able to get some stops. It's a low-scoring game, all things considered. As it's 59-58, Brooks, they'll have it with a contested mid-range, just beat the shot clock, but it's off. Here is Curry. Podziemski, ball on the floor. Extra pass inside Trace Jackson Davis. Second effort. He will get it, and he will go to the line.
Well, they're going to say that the foul was on the first basket attempt, so they'll wave off the second one. It'll be 2 shots for TJD, nonetheless. But good post-up opportunities for Trace Jackson Davis.
And thank you, Alec, for that. Again, I'm trying to follow on the play-by-play and also for the ESPN box. Just watching this one on TNT, just trying to make sure to keep anything away from our little bit of TV deficiencies as far as speed, as this one is put in. This game is tied. It's kind of funny that we spent this in the first talking about early 2000s basketball. Yet, as it sits, Alec, we're tied at 59 in the third with 3:54 left.
That's funny how it all works that way. TJD now 2 for 2.
60-59. This is the Warriors' biggest lead of the game. This was the second time they've led by one since 12-11 in the first, if you can believe that. Inside, and the Rockets will take the lead as Ahmed Thompson gets a courtesy jam from Fred.
You don't want to leave him open all the way at the bottom of the paint.
Absolutely not. It's just window dressing here. As now the Rockets take the lead back. It is tenuous at 1. Here is Kuminga. Podziemski, right ring, gets the screen. Dillon Brooks has the switch. Shot clock down at 2. Good defense there for Dillon off the outstretched jump. And this will be picked up now for Fred. Slowly right to left. Here is a long pass. It's caught by Brooks inside positioning. And that was a good feed ahead from Fred VanVleet. He set it all up.
It was lockdown defense by Dillon Brooks on one on Brandon Podziemski, turning it into offense where he was all alone at the bottom of the paint, ready for that layup opportunity.
Field. Leave now from Podziemski. Here's Waters for 3. And we're tied again. 63 all but 2:40 left in the third.
And Sengun is wondering, when am I going to get my turn back onto the court?
They're going to need that stoppage. You're absolutely right. Inside pass. Thompson doesn't shoot. VanVleet will. He was hit late off the release, but we're still underway. Here is an outstretched pass. Waters will give this now to Hield. Warriors now can try to go up by 2 or 3 as this is picked up. Lindy, right elbow. Inside for Trace Jackson Davis. Leave for Hield, right wing. He hits it. 66-63. It's the Warriors' biggest lead.
12 points already for Buddy Hield. 8 in this quarter. You want to take over? Buddy Hield's got you covered. This is the shooting that the Warriors want to see on a consistent basis.
Fred, here's an outstretched pass. This is at the top of the key. Jabari, top shot over the outstretched hands of Jackson Davis. Doesn't matter. 66-65.
He's getting his confidence up offensive-wise. Mid-range shot sailing on his favor.
Down to the final 90 seconds of the third. Here is Hield. Tough leaning shot. This one is saved by the Rockets. Fred VanVleet now across the timeline. He gets around Waters, tries to reverse, and we'll get a...
Not a lot of times have we seen fouls in here in between. It's far and in between, but not since a while back when TJD hit those 2 shots with Jabari Smith Jr. on the receiving end of this foul. But nonetheless, Steve Kerr is going to call his timeout. He wants to discuss things over his guys.
That's what I'm seeing right now. In the ESPN box says Fred VanVleet gets called for the charge. As you said, Steve Kerr, timeout. It's a 29-21 quarter here for Golden State. And Alec, you said this exactly right. If this was going to be a game coming down to the wire, they're going to get set to take it away in the fourth here shortly. You think the Rockets are going to be able to pull this one out?
I think so. Once the shots fall and once you get the open looks, I think the Rockets may have a good chance. Plus, the defense needs to come alive and limiting Steph Curry and his open looks. You cannot get the open looks from the Warriors like we were doing here in the third quarter. It isn't by way of Curry. It's by way of Buddy Hield. It's been the best offensive quarter of what has been an otherwise defensive game.
Yeah. And I'm going to say this to you now. I know as Alex is going to get set to take this away about another minute 20, but as a 66-65 scoreline hits with 119 in the third, I'm just going to be honest. First to 90 is going to win this one.
Yeah, given its low scoring, yeah, we're going to have it safely. First to 90 wins it.
So that's what I'm going to call. Alex is going to be in agreement here. I'm still going to lean with the Rockets as well. I think that they can knock down some more shots. I think we will see them in the NBA Cup semi here against the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's my call. Honestly, that's what I want to see. I thought they played so well in that second quarter. They haven't been able to carry it all the way through. Would I be disappointed if the Warriors make it? No, because it gives us another opportunity to watch Steph. But I'm going to have to keep my eyes peeled, my 4 eyes peeled on the Rockets. I like what I've seen.
Mr. Olympic gold medalist never disappoints whenever he is on the floor. Because you expect takeovers. Well, it's not just him. Buddy Hield can take over as well, going back to his Sacramento days.
Yeah, they need secondary scoring, and as you said, Alec, he's been able to bring it, especially in this third. Again, you look at the official box here. Now 5 of 11, 2 of it from distance, but he's got 12. Steph's got 16. Kuminga, I think a quiet 16 with all of his shots, 7 of 16 shooting. He does have 5 rebounds to go with an assist. For the Houston Rockets, 17 from Alperen Sengun on 7 of 13 shooting, 3 of 4 from the line. It is 10 from Jalen Green. I think, Alec, that would be the one name that I'm certainly circling here for the fourth. I need a little bit more of a Jalen Green takeover.
That's what we want to see. Since we saw that in the second quarter, Jalen Green will be the player to watch for Houston heading into the fourth.
For Golden State and what they've been keying in on, I think you can say this clearly. Jalen Green's got 5 turnovers. Sengun has 4. So we'll watch that because those are going to be the guys that predominantly have the basketball anyway. Amin Thompson is a team-leading plus 11 off the bench. He's a game-leading plus 11.
I mean, among all players, that is good, especially in a tight defensive contest. If you want your offensive guys onto the floor, you would usually rely on LP and Jalen.
So we'll get set now. Again, Stephanie Reddy talking with Tari Easton in the mix. We're giving you a little bit of a report as he's just coming back from with the injuries. There was a lot of game time decisions coming into this game. Again, really the only predominant one that we don't have is Andrew Wiggins here for the Golden State Warriors. Podziemski, this is Hield again, and he hits it again.
It's turning into a shooting practice for Buddy Hield late in this third quarter.
69-65, and as Alec mentioned, he is really starting to percolate. Here is Green off the screen from Alpi. Picked up now. As this pass gets knocked away, this will stay to the Rockets.
Aaron Holiday was looking towards the inside line, had it bounced off of one of the Warriors, but conveniently as it went out of bounds, the Rockets will keep it.
Jalen Green blocked by Davis. Second effort. Going to go to the line is Sengun and 1.
That's the hustle from Alperen Sengun. The Warriors are trying to plead their case onto why this should be a not for the Rockets, but Sengun, he slowed down. Well, the Warriors are trying to plead their case on why it's not a foul. Steve Kerr does have a challenge here.
I'm wondering myself, Alec, I did not see a lot of contact. Again, no problem counting the basket, no argument there, but didn't exactly see what the Warriors did. Still, it doesn't matter. Alperen Sengun has a chance to make this a one-point game. I'll take the Warriors lead down to 69-68. Should he make it with 44 seconds left in the third? And he does. This has been a fantastic ball game. Not really sure which way it's going to go. Alec and I admittedly both leaning Rockets, but it is the Golden State Warriors, and if it's Steph Curry makes it close in the fourth, you can't have the ball in his hands if you're the Rockets. As it's Kuminga off the screen from Trace. Kuminga puts his head down, and all sorts of contact. This is with the Rockets, though, as Holiday toward the right wing side will make his pass baseline drive. Tried to throw it down was Eason. I think he lost the ball nonetheless.
Yeah, he did. It was not touched. There was no block on the way unless if it was from Jonathan Kuminga. I believe Kuminga may have gotten a tip on it. They will check. Yes, they are checking. They'll say it will stay with the Rockets because Kuminga did get a hand on it. They'll roll it a block.
So another good effort there. Steve Kerr, again, is getting his clarification. Alec already gave us the clarification. This will be my last call. So we get to the fourth. Alec will take us the rest of the way. If it goes to OT, it's his call the rest of the way, too. So this will be picked up now for Lindy. And across the timeline down to 10. Right wing side. Golden State's going to burn it all. Here is Kuminga. He's got the defense in his grill down to 2. It doesn't really have anywhere to go. This is a lofty step back. It's off the back iron. Golden State only up by 1. It's 69-68. We get set to go to the fourth.
The fact that the Warriors are leading this game, despite with the amount of turnovers they committed, is a miracle to them. However, the Rockets, they have committed 12 turnovers. They were getting a little too cute with the ball at times, but nonetheless, it's a good position to be in for both sides. The Warriors, nonetheless, they cleaned up the turnovers that they committed in the first half because they looked sloppy in the first two quarters. Here, they played clean basketball. They forced the Rockets into mental errors like most young teams would do, but it's a learning experience for this young Rockets group.
I agree with you, Alec, and I think the first blush for me, I haven't had a chance to watch Alperen Sengun a ton, but I would say for me, and I'm not trying to be mean when I say this at all, but I do think he doesn't seem to be very comfortable handling the basketball when he gets a rebound. He's going to want to get this one up quick to the guards, and I do think it's the guards' job, honestly, Alec, to make sure that they're there so they can start running the play as soon as he gets the board.
The Warriors have done an excellent job this season defending centers. Against someone like Sengun, it is a tougher task, but nonetheless, that they're holding the other bigs in check in this third quarter, especially Sengun. I think this may be a turning point for the Warriors if they want to take this win.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it. Again, I am very surprised. If I would have told you I was going into this broadcast with you, Alec, and it would be 69-68 at the end of the third, I think we would both be stuck in a time warp.
It feels that way as well. We're looking at basketball over the 2000s decade. Somewhere around the Bad Boys Pistons, first stint Cleveland LeBron era. Somewhere around that Kobe and Powell, old school feels.
So as it stands, I was looking at the NBA RotoWire spread. It's only at 2. So as Alec mentioned, pretty much all night, he talked about in the first couple matchups that this was going to be closely contested. These two teams know each other well. This should set us up for a good fourth quarter. Houston is the favorite at home, but just 2 points, and the over-under sits at 221.5. We are not going to get to that. We're going to take the under tonight.
Well, if it's the under in total points, well, we can definitely both be in agreement in this one. That we won't be seeing a lot of points here given the defensive reputations. Pace is going to be slowed down a ton. You won't see the fast-paced offense that we usually see with the likes of the Atlanta Hawks or the Chicago Bulls. No, you're going to see the game slowed down here, and that will come into effect in this fourth quarter as both teams get acclimated in.
So just a very small thing for me really quickly before I hand it over to Alec. The Warriors are just 3 of 7 from the line. There hasn't been a lot of free throws. The Rockets are 5 of 6, and we'll see if that comes into play at all.
Yeah, Kuminga especially is 1 of 4 among those misses. Steph Curry misses only free throw. That's where the misses came from. Trace Jackson Davis is the only one who was perfect. Kuminga hit at 1 free throw. And Buddy Hield, who started this game with 4 points, had 11 in the third quarter on 3 of 5 shooting. All the Hield free throws, well, have not been there just yet, but Hield 6 of 12, 3 of 9 from 3. We're underway here. Fourth quarter, Alec Nava, John Ott. Whoever wins this game will head to Las Vegas to face the Oklahoma City Thunder. Evan Thompson lost the ball as he handled it erroneously. Podziemski back. Lindy Waters activating for the left side. Now let's stop to the left wing. Tari Eason watches his man as Waters gets the switch. Over to Podziemski. Inside. At that co-pilot logo on the right side. Back to Podziemski. Easy layup for him. Nice assist by Looney.
Haven't seen that happen very often, have you, Alec? Usually when that ball goes to the inside, the Rockets are already there for stealing, but not that time.
It's a little pick and roll game between them. As Alpi finds Jalen. Wants to reverse jam. This layup. Missed it there. He wanted a foul. It will not be called. Waters on the rebound over to Draymond Green. Draymond didn't get that one to roll. Sengun fights off Draymond for the rebound. Getting a little chippy here, John, is old school basketball. Here's Aaron Holiday. Holiday over to the right. Sengun doesn't fire the free. Will go to the inside. Left hash. Whistle blown for foul.
So again, I talk about it a little bit with the ball handling for Sengun, but I agree with you too, Alec, on this side. I think the growth in Sengun's game, step out a little bit, hit some of those shots from distance, he could be pretty unguardable.
Yeah, basically. Yes. Basically of a Nikola Jokic light. That foul was on Kevon Looney. Here is Jalen Green. Green going to Sengun. Sengun dishes one on the hook. Floats it through.
Nice set of hands there for Sengun. That was a tough one.
Yeah, tight coverage nonetheless as he shook that off. Waters, as he avoids several hand checks. Waters with Eamon Thompson on him. Over to Curry. Left wing baseline. And inside for Draymond as he gets the pass from Kuminga. With 5. Inside. 2 hands. Looney.
Kevon Looney's been here for a while, Alec, and he knows what his job is. Get to the lane and score and get some rebounds. Looks like Ime Udoka's going to take a TO.
Yeah, he will. That's the first of 3 the Rockets have entering this fourth quarter. He wants a word of his young core of guys. Probably if you want the Bari and Tari show out there on the same time. A little funky name there for Jabari Smith Jr. and Tari Eason. But if you want these two out there, you take those opportunities.
Yeah, and again, I think this is a good TO. You got plenty of time here in the fourth with 10:24 left to go in this one. Settle down the troops. Let them know that this is another close game and they have the horses to be able to pull it out. All they need to do, Alec, and again, I know it's easier said than done, find some of that magic that they had early throughout that half in that second quarter. They could take this game. I mean, the way that they played within that 10-minute span, I don't want to say that they played better than the Nuggets or the Celtics or teams like that, but they certainly looked that good in this game at one point.
Yeah, teams are going to be getting a little hiccups here and then. The Rockets had their fair share of hiccups over in previous games as of late. It'll happen to the best of teams as such.
Sure.
And even for young teams, it'll be a learning experience nonetheless. The Rockets had their first set of hiccups over in the past in the year in which they have their breakthrough. Teams will experience that. Don't let that get to your head.
Nope, and that's why you have somebody like a man. That's why you call the timeout. So it's well said in the mix of it. Again, this game is probably what Alec had mentioned is going to be expected here. 73-70 with 10:24 left to go. Again, coverage on TNT. I'm just happy to be alongside Alec Nava for this one. I'm enjoying it.
As you mentioned, so scoring-wise, what we're looking at is 16 for Steph, 16 for Kuminga, 15 for Hield so far, 22 for Sengun, 12 for Smith, 10 for Jalen Green. We haven't seen Green over at the basket in quite a while. We need that takeover like we saw in that second quarter, as you mentioned. Get that fourth quarter mojo and get that valuable point scoring. Maybe if you can use someone that you haven't considered using off the bench in quite a while. Maybe get to someone like Cam Whitmore to get some good buckets.
I thought he would be somebody that already would draw into this lineup, to be honest with you, Alec.
Yeah, the thing is that the Rockets going with 8 deep was what surprised me, because you're going with just 3 guys off the bench. Now usually it's for a playoff type of rotation. Now you want to go 4 guys off the bench, you bring in so like Whitmore, or bring in Steven Adams onto it if you want to go 5 deep.
And Steven Adams, again, as I talked about, he's available in this game, correct, Alex? So, I mean, why not? Maybe I understand he can't run the floor in a game like this, but the Warriors aren't exactly playing at a lightning pace either.
Yeah, these two really have really operate in different paces, but similarly over the middle of the pack in terms of pace. The Rockets being slightly slower, but Adams doesn't really set a pace, but he can get some good floor spacing.
Yes. And he can still protect that rim. So it'll be interesting to see. I think that's going to have to expand the lineups a little bit, especially if the Rockets do advance play against OKC. I don't think you can manage just playing 8 players. It's just my opinion.
As we're back here, Aaron Holiday hands off for Green. Sengun fighting it open. Tari Eason with 2 hands puts it through.
It's nice to see there and always getting a basket right out of the timeout. That's what you want to have as a coach.
2 minutes in, the Warriors with just 1 turnover in this second half after having 14 in the first half, which is a season high. Play stops because of a foul on Eason, who had that 2-handed slam, and Draymond is hobbled up on that right knee.
Yeah, a little bit of a knee there. He's a tough guy, though, Draymond Green. And I think he'll be able to walk this one off. I'm taking an extra look at it. Looks like he kind of just banged right on it as he was trying to get the basketball.
But also, you also consider, as you get up there in age, the wear and tear on your body is starting to take its toll. Yeah. And as Draymond is getting older, it's going to have more of that physicality catch up to him. Curry knocks down a triple. Same song and story for him.
Right in off the screen, he gets wide open at the top of the key. That cannot happen if you're Houston.
Jalen Green wants to answer. Cannot do so there. Podziemski, one hands, and he goes down on a hard foul. So it's not just Draymond, but now Podziemski as he is grabbing onto. Is that his eye? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he is. I don't know if he got poked as he was grabbing the basketball. I was going to say, Alec, that was one heck of a rebound in amongst the trees. I'm getting a look at it now. He got slapped, I think, toward the face, maybe by Eason or one of the other Houston Rockets.
Yeah, Eamon Thompson, I believe. He'll be the one responsible for this. So, Podziemski, that's got to be an ouchies. He's going to shake this off. The vision not affected that much. I think he's going to fight this off and stay on. Yeah, he will stay on, battling the pain. Warriors have it. It is Green. Draymond Green finding the right side for Lindy Waters. Watch one-on-one. Waters through the right. Waters with Thompson on him. Waters wants to put one up and does with 9:23 left.
That's not a bad move off the glass going baseline. Good work for Lindy.
Make a name for yourself. How about that? Tari Eason goes inside over to the paint. Eason, oh, he runs over someone. The question is, who's the foul going to be on?
It looks like they're giving it to Draymond Green. I'd have to take another look, Alec, to see if he actually was set in the lane.
We'll see, because Eason drove inside. I don't know if Draymond was intending for this to be a charge, and I think Draymond's arguing that he wanted to draw that charge.
I think his feet were still shuffled, but I agree with you.
Yeah, that was the argument that Draymond won with the officials about the offensive charge. Aaron Holiday has trouble with the ball. Gets it back through a double team. Holiday Euro stepping. Not there. Rebound secured by Golden State. Looney fighting Waters quickly. Podziemski through the left side. Spinning around through the left side. Draymond going to Waters again. Now Podziemski. Watched by Holiday goes to the inside. Looney wants to post up. Puts one up. Gets it back. Second effort. Doesn't go. Eason grabs it. Ball was loose for a moment, but Tari Eason securing. Half spin around Podziemski. Kicked out for Brooks. Dylan Brooks wants to find someone. Pickpocketed there. Lindy Waters to steal. And that was a bad pass nonetheless. Waters, watch one-on-one by Brooks. You can only play defense for so long, and that may catch up to you. Here's Curry. Airball, that one. Great defense by the Rockets. Moving this back up is Thompson. Kicked out to the right corner. Here's Tari Eason. Rosen! That took two spins around the rack for that to sail through.
I'm not going to say that was Kawhi Leonard-esque, but Steve Kerr is irate. Curry's been hit again on the hand, and you don't call it? What's going on?
Oh, and Kerr has to be careful, otherwise he's going to be teed up.
Yeah, he is really hot, Alec. That's about as animated as I've ever seen Steve Kerr.
I mean, yeah, he'll take a timeout in the meantime, but he is not happy with that last sequence. I feel, yeah, I get the understanding about going to the offensive paint because the 3 seconds rule, but before that, that was a bad look by Dylan Brooks on the pass. But nonetheless, you have to put something up before the 3-second rule, and that takes into effect on the offensive side of the paint. But Eason with a great shot at the right corner. What I want to wonder is what Kerr was complaining about.
It looks like on Curry's last shot when he missed from 20 at the 8-12 mark that I thought he was hit on the hand.
That's what Kerr may be arguing for, what in the basis of no foul being called. That may be a curious one.
Yeah, that's probably the third time. I was probably cutting out, Alec. I apologize. Probably the third time I would say that we could talk. Maybe Curry might have gotten fouled. But let's be honest, in the way that this game was called, Alec, there was probably a lot more fouls to be called. I think the refs have been letting the boys play tonight, which is refreshing.
Yeah, I feel they're just letting them go. Bill Kennedy is just letting them go. He's our crew chief for tonight. And Kerr, he's none too pleased about Curry not getting caught and not drawing one. But I feel there are more fouls in which they were let go. So there's a common theme that the boys are just going to be out to play tonight.
That's what I think, and that's what we're seeing right now. My hope is we could get this same darn officiating crew for Saturday night.
hopefully, in which there are minimal fouls involved here. In terms of free throws that are shots, in terms of total fouls that are called, 8 by the Warriors, 13 by the Rockets. Free throws, 5 and 6 are the Rockets, 3 of 7 are the Warriors. So we have not seen a lot of free throws. So there are plenty of fouls to give for both teams in this fourth quarter.
Yes, there are. Again, where the Rockets have had their decisive advantage, they're down 3 with 8:02 left to go in the fourth, but they've had a 52-38 advantage inside the paint. I think it's just the turnovers. Again, they're even 15-14 between both sides, but the Warriors, pretty much, as you mentioned, they had all their turnovers from the first half. They've been pretty good with the basketball here in the second half.
That's what Steve Kerr wanted, to clean up the turnovers from that first half. The season-high 14 turnovers in the first were unacceptable to him. So he wanted his guys to clean up. That they did, to the count of just 1 turnover in the entirety of the second half so far. The Rockets want to get back at that and go back to the first half selves that they were doing and forcing the Warriors into mistakes.
That's what they're going to have to do if they're going to win this game. I agree with you, Alec, on this side. But again, as you mentioned, it's going to come down to the wire. I'm looking at it right now, and Aaron Holiday certainly did hit Steph Curry on the hands and no call.
Yeah, that's what Kerr is mad about, that he did not get the foul to his favor. And Lindy Waters huddling up in the meantime in the midst of that, Kerr being irate. And I think he has every reason to be. Podziemski finding an open Curry. Tight defense on him. One-on-one matchups all throughout. Curry wants the inside. Curry at the paint. Kicked out left corner. A little shifty-do. All the way to Podziemski. Knocked away. Dylan Brooks down Main Street.
Beautiful defense. You just asked for it, Alec, and the Udoka squad delivers.
Coast-to-coast baseline. Brooks delivers with Sengun on the bench. 1-point game again. 78-77 in this defensive contest. Draymond Green going one-on-one with Fred VanVleet. At the left hash, hooks one through. Low Kareem Abdul-Jabbar skyhook for Draymond.
You want to see that for Draymond, don't you, Alec? Get a little more aggressive in the offensive end. You're supposed to be one of the players that can get the job done. Good move.
Yeah, for sure. And here's Fred VanVleet, who was part of the Toronto Raptors 2019 winning squad. Ball is loose. Draymond and Thompson are fighting for the ball. Still free. He'll leave it for Looney. Curry down the left wing side. And it's an 8-second violation. You don't see that often.
Alec, I don't believe what I'm seeing right now for Houston on some of the defensive thing. And Steve Kerr he might pop a lung here.
Oh, I haven't seen a coach this mad in the NBA in between the 4 major professional leagues. Steve Kerr is about as mad as John Tortorella whenever his teams are losing badly.
Well, I mean, the Houston Rockets, they played such good defense, and that's why they're only down 3. But, I mean, Draymond was fighting like crazy for the ball. They just didn't get the ball up there in time, as you mentioned, at half.
And Kerr wants a word of it. He has to be careful so as to not draw the officials' attention, not get a technical against him. Oh, my goodness. He's still not done. And now he is, but he's got to be angry on the inside. Here's VanVleet, all the way back at the Rockets logo. VanVleet starts up. VanVleet kicked out to the right corner. Low shift. And a pass over to Brooks. Brooks goes baseline right side. Defers to Amen Thompson. Tari Eason's dime.
And Lindy Waters got bowled over there on that dunk.
Oh, he got bullied in the paint. Moved over at the right side for TJD. At the right wing, healed to Trace Jackson-Davis at the left wing. Left corner, here comes Curry. Yes, sir. Or that's Lindy Waters, excuse me.
Lindy Waters with the Curry impression makes it a 4-point lead for Golden State.
I mean, I'm getting a little confused out there. Which number is who? I mean, it's a double-digit number over there, but Waters kind of confused me. VanVleet draws a double team, and this might have been deflected out off Podziemski. Rockets keep.
Yes, they will. 83-79 with 5:55. Fives are wild here in the fourth.
8 points already for Waters with 5 boards and 2 assists. You want your guys to capitalize off the bench? You got it. That's why Kerr is deploying a 12-deep rotation. 7 guys coming off the bench. That's rare in the NBA. Van Vliet has to pop it up. Gets it to Sengun. Sengun lost it. Thompson saves it. Clock is running down. Still is up high. Loose ball. Picked up by Van Vliet. Heaves it all the way. And there was no shot for Van Vliet to get that down.
That was just absolute chaos there. It was just fighting for the basketball, trying to make something happen. That's a big stop there for the Warriors.
Oh, boy, was that ever so chaotic. And a much-needed defensive sequence from the Warriors. And this one is a pickpocket. Sengun. This one deflected over to Jabari Smith, who gets it over to an open Dylan Brooks. Closed out by Podziemski. Here's Van Vliet on the free shots. Got it! A free by the Rockets. Gets this to a 1-point game.
Jabari Smith Jr., that's brass right there. 83-82.
Here we go. Clutch time. We're heading into the final 5 minutes of this game. Jonathan Kuminga gets a screen. One-on-one matchup. Kuminga partially blocked. And this one saved by TJD. Podziemski fakes over to Waters. Waters rimmed out. And this goes to Van Vliet. Fred Van Vliet, the former Raptor, goes inside. This one deflected. Back with the Warriors. Hill. Hill moving left. Buddy Hill backs up. Watched by Freddie. Back at the logo is who I believe is Jonathan Kuminga. Here he is with the ball. At the right hash. Moved over to Podziemski. Waits. Takes his time of it. Now fires. Yes, sir! Brandon Podziemski. Young fella. Hits the triple with 4:26.
That's a huge shot, Alec. But just before that, I will say this. In between Fred Van Vliet and Alperen Sengun, that's a very poor turnover. I understand it's been chaotic here within the last couple of minutes, but all they had to do there, the Rockets, just let Alperen get his post position and settle. It's only a 1-point game. He didn't have to try to force anything right now, but instead it gets a turnover, and Podziemski makes a dagger 3 right now for a timeout. 86-82, Golden State.
You could not ask for some sequences any better if you're the Golden State Warriors. If you want to extend your 15-game winning streak against the Rockets to 16. Now for the Rockets, don't sweat it if you lose this one. You know it's a learning experience, but nonetheless, the fact that you made it a battle against the Warriors and that you're drawing closer and closer to beating them by the passing days has to speak to something.
I won't disagree with that, Alec. Again, the only thing I'd want to just double down on here, with 4:26 left to go in the fourth, Rockets, just run your offense. That's all I want to see right now. You don't have to push the pace too much because the game isn't completely out of hand here. So run your offense, get something good set out of this timeout, and keep things going. Again, as you talk about it, it'll be the Bucks and Hawks in the East, and then it'll be OKC. They're waiting in between Golden State or Houston, and that might be the one we got our eyes on.
Yeah, we're looking at that one on the Futurecast. Potentially 8:30 on the ABC side. So as we see Fred Van Vliet checking out, possibly go to the mid-range game. Play tight defense and do not allow any open looks from free for the Warriors. Play your game, play your tight defense as soon as you play off the ball. Jalen Green sitting down. You have Amen Thompson on the court. Sengun is out there. Van Vliet with it. Watched by Podziemski. Van Vliet looks inside. Now outside for Brooks. The 2 big free agent acquisitions in the last offseason. Sengun has to put something up in a hurry. Does. Excellent defense by the Warriors as Draymond did not give him an easy bucket for Sengun. That's what you call clutch and that veteran factor. Curry will walk left. Draws a one-on-one matchup with Thompson. Draymond has a one-on-one matchup with Sengun. He goes left. Now back for Curry. Steps around several times. Kicked out left corner. Oh, they to fire. Hits the triple. You bet. Kuminga.
That was nasty for Steph, and nobody picked up Kuminga in that left corner. He's got 19.
Inside Sengun. He fakes out Green. Draws the foul. Oh my goodness. And the Rockets are upset.
I think Draymond Green's going to pick up a foul here. That was an awful lot of contact there. Should be no problem for Houston to be able to go right to the line because Draymond was getting a little too much.
And I feel the Rockets are arguing that instead of just a shooting foul and maybe something more on this one, just a whack from behind. And that basically is a football play, a tackle. The Rockets are arguing on the basis of if it's a flagrant.
That's a hold and a push down. I don't think there's any sell job there. I think Draymond got a little too wild, but we're used to seeing that sometimes.
Yeah, we're used to seeing this of the potential of a flagrant. Maybe, we don't know. 3:23 to go here in the fourth quarter. This is an official review.
And this would be big if this would be called a flagrant because you get the free throws and the ball back. So that's a big call right now if it goes against Golden State. Houston needs it. Either way, they should be going on the line to shoot some free throws.
Either way, I think the Rockets should get the benefit of this. Either way, you get to the line, cut onto the Warrior lead. Yeah, that was a clear grab by Draymond. There is no excuse for that.
No need. No need for that. And again, how many times have we said that throughout his career? For all the good things that Draymond does, that's just a knuckleheaded play.
Yeah, that bad play right there for Draymond. So the officials have taken the headsets off. They are deliberating what Draymond will get called for. At the max, I imagine this could be a flagrant 1.
I would say so, Alec. I don't think flagrant 2 to kick him out. I would definitely say flagrant 1 should be the right call if that's what the refs go with.
Right. Yeah, that's what I would believe would be the call if the officials will get there. We'll have the verdict from Bill Kennedy. It does not meet the criteria for flagrant as the official verdict from Bill Kennedy. The personal will stand. The Rockets will shoot 2 from the free throw line. Sengun is headed there, but Draymond gets a foul against him, and he's lucky that this is not a flagrant.
I agree with the foul. We're not going to argue that, Alec, but I disagree. I think that should at least been a flagrant 1.
Yeah, at the very most, it should be a flagrant 1. But either way, Sengun will shoot 2. He's already at 22 with 11 boards as he's doing his usual ball whispering move before the free throws. His first shot, knocked it down.
Goes without saying, Alec, you can't afford to miss any of these right now. Both free throws are big.
Yeah, of course. Dillon Brooks will check back in for Udoka's team. 3:23 to go. Jalen Green still sitting down. We have not seen much of him throughout this fourth quarter. Udoka wants his guys out there, main guys on the court as Sengun is 2 for 2. So now seatbelts are fastened. Warriors are 8 of 13 from free in the second half after starting out 4 of 22 in the first half. 5-point game, Warriors up 89-84. It is Draymond with the ball. Unless if I'm seeing a different number, it is Draymond. Steph Curry rolls out. Jabari Smith, he touched it last. It goes out of bounds. The Warriors will keep it.
How fortunate are the Houston Rockets that Steph Curry, I know these are tough shots, but these are ones he can usually make.
Yeah, he usually makes them, but very rarely do you see this not going in the way of which the Warriors were wanting to. But nonetheless, they have to be happy that this is their game and that they're controlling it throughout this second half. Draymond to the inside. 1-on-1 match of this rounds around second effort. Kuminga will shoot 2. It will be a foul against Dillon Brooks.
I know we said it going into this contest, Alec, and it comes as no surprise, but Jonathan Kuminga doing his usual work here tonight. He's been pretty good. I've liked the all-around game that he's shown, and in the mix, he's trying to get points 21 and 22.
Low spin for Kuminga as he'll fire the first one. A little too strong on that one, John.
This has still got one more coming to try to make this a 90-84 game. The Houston Rockets still got plenty of time. My question is, when are we going to see Jalen Green again?
If you want a winning basket, as Kuminga hits the second one, if you want a winning basket, Green could be someone you can count on. But clutch time, that's when it's a key factor which you should adapt to. It is Jalen Green. Just as you were talking about it, John. He is out there on the court. Van Vliet. Jalen is not at a bucket since the second quarter. Van Vliet, the first, free on the way for Amon Thompson. Too strong on that one. There was contact at the paint. Nothing called there as Amen Thompson was knocked down. Brooks watching Curry. Steph Curry still with this as he goes backwards. Gets the switch. Curry still with it. 8 to shoot. Curry fakes out Jalen Green. The Furs. Now to left corner. Draymond taking sweet time with this. Draymond to the baseline. Hook. Touch. 24-second violation.
They've been able to do that, 5 times now against the Golden State Warriors in this game. Put them in a box.
I mean, they've been boxed out effectively so far. And you said first to 90. Well, the Warriors are the first to 90. So they may be on track to go over to OKC per your prediction.
Well, I didn't mean to call that, Alec. I'm really hoping to get the chance to watch the Houston Rockets again. But there's still time in this one, but I think this has to be a basket. They haven't had one in the last 3:05.
It's still counting here. Van Vliet with Podziemski watching him. Moves up front. Podziemski behind him. Kicked out right corner. Green. Blocked by Draymond Green. Green on green violence with 2 minutes to go. 6-point lead by the Warriors. Now Golden State gets set. They don't need to fire. They're going to have to run out as much time as possible so that they get less time for the Rockets to make a comeback. Sengun on Curry. Gets a switch with Jabari Smith. Draymond leaves it behind. Curry boxed out. Gonna have to get something up. Pass blocked. And for the 6th time, it's a shot clock violation.
Unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this. I have to be completely honest. Golden State Warriors can't find any answers when they get bottled up. If they're in the half court, forget about it.
Well, that speaks to the excellent defense Ime Udoka's playing on his guys. Overtime may be a realistic possibility. I don't want to jinx it just yet. Van Vliet, one-on-one with Curry. Moves up. This Sengun. Van Vliet cycles to the right corner. Sengun with it at the paint. Hook shot. Didn't go. Tipped up. And it was last batted by Draymond, so Houston will keep.
Alec, this is good old-fashioned basketball battle for every possession here right now. How many of these loose balls have not even been corralled? It's too many to count.
I mean, all sorts of wild possessions as Van Vliet goes to Sengun. Now Van Vliet fires. Pure! Fred Van Vliet delivers a huge free for the Rockets. The deficit now to free as Steve Kerr calls timeout.
90-87, and there's no exaggeration when I say this. You couldn't even see him on the screen when he let the shot go. Didn't matter. We'll go to break.
This has been a fun defensive contest, John. We're watching old school basketball. Feels like a blast to the past when we were watching the early 2000s, middle 2000s, you name any part of the 2000s. Because those have been some of the most ethical hoops that we have seen. You've seen the battles of the Kobe against the Celtics and those 2 NBA finals. Gotta think back to that.
Absolutely, Alec. I think we've been pretty privileged as far as the NBA Cup over the last couple of seasons, able to get the right games, right calls, and yeah, because again, you think about some of the things, you don't often talk about all the things that go right. You think about some of the stuff in between the Miami Heat and the LA Lakers when JJ Redick had to talk about, a 35-point loss, and there was just casts from 3, and it looked really ugly, and it's not the product that you want in the NBA. But you're thinking about this game tonight that we're covering? Oh, yeah, I would watch this all the time.
Oh, yeah, put this on replay 24/7. This and the Olympics games, USA and Serbia, USA and France. Those 2 are ethical hoops.
That was a ridiculous shot there for Fred Van Vliet. I mean, Podziemski was right in his grill.
I mean, right when he caught the ball as well. Jalen Green will sit down. Ime Udoka wants to go over defensive lineup here to guard Curry and company. Rockets don't need a foul. To the inside, and a missed assignment. A pickpocket on the passing lane, and this ball will go to Houston with a chance to tie it.
Yeah, I think Draymond Green's team didn't find anybody. Or somebody, as you said, they just weren't there off the pass. Green goes to throw it, and no way for Kuminga to grab that one.
A little hot potato for Jonathan Kuminga. Both Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun are back onto the court. The last time the Rockets won, February 20th, 2020 against the Warriors. They want to have that tonight. Sengun activates. He'll shoot two. Draymond Green roughed him up. Or actually, this will not be two shots. It's a personal.
I can't believe even before that drive to the rim, there was a Houston Rocket that just got mutilated off the screen. That was Fred VanVleet that got bowled over, and there was no call there.
Yeah, you could have had a call in one area. You could have had a call in another area. The officials chose to go with the call on Draymond. I don't know if it's based on vendettas or anything or past reputation, but easily there could have been a foul drawn by VanVleet. Green triggers to VanVleet. VanVleet will look. Moves right. Podziemski's on Freddie. At the right wing side, low shake of eight. VanVleet to Jalen. Over to Jabari. Bari fires a tight coverage too far. Rebound for the ball contested. This was last touch by Podziemski. Out of bounds. 32.5 to go. Rockets keep. And Ime wants to talk it.
Man, oh man, this game honestly feels, as we said, we're talking old school all night. Dare I say the word epic? And it's kind of weird because it's only 90-87 on the score, but everybody's fighting for the ball. There is no fouls to be had. If you go to the lane, that's at your own risk. You might get poked in the eye, hit in the face. There might not be any calls in this one. This does feel like a time warp. I'm so glad we covered this one.
Oh, yeah. And I did want to mention about defense. You did mention about a defensive guy. Even though it's a different sport, and I want to take some time. Andres Jimenez to the Toronto Blue Jays. And the feeling I have with this, even though it isn't officially a free team trade, I like to imagine it is unofficially one because Spencer Horwitz goes to the Pirates via the Guardians.
Yeah, and the Pirates, they really like that move from the way that it went.
Yeah, they do want to get more hitting power. Horwitz was promising in his debut with Toronto. The hope here is that he meshes in with Pittsburgh on this lineup. Now that he's with ex-Blue Jay Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
So we'll continue. That'll be another one of those teams that you get to follow. You're enjoying it right now with the Rockets. We'll see if they can pull it out. But I know you've definitely enjoyed the Steelers season.
Oh, yeah. Top of the AFC North. Elite defense. A revived offense. And you got Chris Boswell nailing kicks like it's nobody's business. Like it's not his business.
This is going to be a good finish, Alec. Try to get the Rockets to win. I want to see it.
VanVleet triggers into Sengun. Sengun draws the one-on-one match of Looney. Sengun has the advantage. It's a 1-point game. 27.2 to play. 26 for Sengun now. Warriors with it. Curry backed up at the Toyota Center logo. Watched by Dylan Brooks. It's a 3-second difference. Curry will step back. Fires! Rimmed out. And a rebound contested. Who's going to have it? Payton still with a dogfight for the ball. Whistle blows. Possession will go to Jonathan Kuminga. And it's a foul against Golden State. The Rockets can take the lead on a pair of free throws.
Unbelievable effort. Steve Kerr with his mouth agape. He has nothing to say right now. All-out effort here from the Warriors.
At some point, I think the equivalent of Mount Torch is going to explode here because Steve Kerr is flabbergasted. He thought this should have been a jump ball.
It was held enough, but it looks like Jalen Green, as you said, going to the line to shoot free throws. He could ice this.
First shot is good. How about Jalen securing the ball and drawing contact from Kuminga?
This game is unbelievable. We're still going to get a timeout after this. But Steve Kerr, he's lucky he never got teed up once.
Oh, he definitely has to be. He is lucky that he never got a tee against him. 3 steals for Green in this game. Rockets take the lead with 3.5 to go. And Steve Kerr will set up for a potential winning basket.
Ice cold free throws for Jalen Green, and when GP2 was trying to go back to the line, I think the Rockets had something to say about this. Alec, I'm not going to steal your thunder here, but this ball is only going to one player. It's Steph Curry off of a curl screen or drag. That's the only one that's going to shoot it to me.
If I want a clutch bucket here to ice this game, I will give you Curry. You know who else I would give it to? Buddy Hield. and its third quarter takeover. That's another option I could consider. How about you have Curry, Hield, get your offensive guys onto the court. That means Curry, Hield, Podziemski, Kuminga. At least those four who I would go with. For the Rockets, I would counter with an all-defensive lineup. Get Van Vliet, Brooks, Bari, and Tari, and then your true big guy onto the court. How about Aaron Holiday if you want team defense?
I think you got it all set up here. Again, my box is a little bit ahead. You're going to have an exciting call here. You might get what you want. It's a critical 7-0 run for the Rockets. They might steal it from the Warriors with their all-out defensive effort today.
All right, here we go. 3.5 seconds left. Seatbelts are fastened. Podziemski, one of the guys I mentioned, he is out there for a potential winning basket. 3 Warriors are lined up at half court, going with a run and gun type of offense. The lone warrior that's up front is Draymond. Podziemski looking to trigger. Looks to find an option. Running out of time. Podziemski does get it out to Curry. Back to Podziemski. Blocked by Jabari Smith. It's over! The streak is over! The Rockets have beaten the Warriors! They're headed to Las Vegas!
Wow, what a basketball game that we had. Again, if the Warriors had to do it over, whether or not they had any more timeouts, the trigger man, Podziemski, I thought maybe fired a little bit too quickly. But Jabari Smith, what a ridiculous block. You get a little red out here at the toilet center. This is beautiful.
Oh, I am so proud of my boys tonight. What a win, what a gutsy effort, and what a defensive effort by Jabari Smith to erase Brandon Podziemski on a potential winning free. That's the Warriors' strength. And here, the Rockets counter with an all-defensive lineup. And it's always mentioned, defense wins you championships. Here is the Rockets' defense that won them this game. And with the last 7 points of this match, including the winning free throw from Jalen Green, who had just 2 points before this point at the second half before this winning free throws. What an effort by the Rockets.
Crazy, because didn't I say at the beginning of this, first to 90 is going to win? It was 90-84, a 7-0 run for the Rockets in the clutch to close it out, and a game-winning block there for Jabari Smith as Alperen Sengun gets interviewed 26, 11, 5, and 3. He was all over the stat sheet.
Ho, ho, ho. This has to feel good for Houston, knowing that the dragon is finally slain. I was going to wonder when the Rockets would slay the dragon. That night is tonight, with a game-winning block by Bari and to outlast a huge effort from Jonathan Kuminga, powered by Alperen Sengun, is 26 points, 11 boards, 5 dimes, and a team-leading 3 steals, which is tied with Jalen Green. That's the other guy that you wanted to get to if you're the offense. 3 steals for Jalen, winning free throws, plus a big 15 points from Jabari.
Yeah, and Alec, you said it all. And again, I'll just reiterate it like this. You had Jonathan Kuminga and Steph Curry go combined 16 of 37 for the 20 and 19 points that they got respectively. You made them earn every single one of those. He had that special run at the beginning of the second when it was all sorts of dunks. Jalen Green with the just disgusting finish at the rim that we're seeing there off the camera cut. The pocket pass from Alperen Sengun, a little blind, and then just the defense all the way across the board, forcing the Warriors into what we believe was 6 24-second violations. And this team, again, as we said, you got 4 guys essentially leading the way. They're not even 23 years old yet, and they have this type of effort here. And I think this really will set us up for a Saturday. Regardless of what the time is now, I think we have to cover OKC and Houston. That's my call.
Oh, yeah, we definitely have to cover that game. And I feel who made the best man win between Ian and I, given that Ian's a Thunder guy.
You know what, Alec? I like OKC, but I told you from the second from calling this one with you, and I'm not just saying this because you're in here or the one time you get a chance to cover that. That second quarter and the defensive efforts that I've seen from this team that as young as they are That just doesn't happen anymore in today's NBA. Give me the Rockets.
Hey, anything for the young guys over in H-Town. I like this team for many, many reasons.
So we'll see. I give them a good shot against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't think the Thunder are going to run away with it. If the Rockets can play defensive the way that they have been. I know the Bucks have been hot lately. I guess I have more to figure out about them if they're getting things going, but look out. I think we will see the Rockets in the final.
Oh, I think I have high hopes for this. I too would expect a low-scoring defensive game on Saturday between the Thunder and the Rockets. I don't know if it's going to be at the pace of this one, but going from Steph Curry to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, that presents you a bigger challenge knowing that SGA is an MVP candidate and should be in the running head-to-head with Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I don't want to keep you too long here, but this is the last question for me. If it's SGA, do you really want Fred VanVleet to be the defensive matchup for him?
That's a tough call, because if it's not Fred VanVleet, the backup plan is Dylan Brooks on the switch. That could be an effective counter if you're going on one-on-one matchups. But this should be interesting for many reasons. I don't know if Fred VanVleet's going to do the job, but he could do enough to hold him at bay to try and limit him from getting 30. Because as of late, Shai has been putting up 30 like it's not his business.
I'm so looking forward to that one. They got a special treat tonight, Alec. You enjoy this one, and we'll meet up again on Saturday.
Yeah, see you then Saturday, John. Can't wait to call that game.